Hi, hello, how is it going? Hi. Hi, hello. Oh my gosh. I was sorry I'm a little late. I literally forgot to pay my rent. I was like, I feel like today there's something I have to do. Like, I can't remember what I have to do. I can't remember what I have to do. In my defense, I did go to the doctor today, so I am really, really sore and I am on a lot of medication. So I'll know next time not to go to the doctor on the same day that I have to do a bunch of stuff. Because I was like, what do I have to do? And then I was starting stream and I'm like, oh my god, I literally forgot to pay my fucking rent. Let me pay that shit right now. I gotta go pay that shit right now. I have to pay that shit before it turns into midnight. Oh my god. Pay that shit and they kick me out literally in 24 hours. I was like, there is something I'm supposed to be doing. I think there's something I'm supposed to be doing. Let me pull up chat. I'll pull it up this way. I don't know what is going on with my computer, but I'm gonna ignore that. Hopefully the stream doesn't crash. I really don't know what's going on. I will say that there are a lot of fireworks happening today. Everyone's really excited for the 4th of July, so if you hear fireworks, there's nothing I can do about that. Sorry. Sorry. Tried to dampen the sound as much as possible, but they're lighting up some big ones tonight, you know? Which is like so confusing to me because I'm like, don't you people gotta go to work tomorrow? Like, I'm going to work tomorrow. Like, don't you people like have to go to work? I'm confused. I'm confused. Unemployment behavior? I mean, I'm confused. Very confused. Alright, who is first? Inu. Thank you, Inu, for being first. You're the first kiss of the day, possibly the only kiss of the day. We'll see how it goes. Mwah. Thanks much. Thanks much. Hi, Billy. Yeah, I mean, I do feel a little bit better because I did get my medicine today, but I'm really, really sore. Honestly, the doctor today did a great job giving me my medicine because, like, I didn't even feel it going in. Normally, and if you're like, what are you talking about? I take injections for my chronic pain, but I can't give myself the injection because the medication is so thick. So I need to go and have like a nurse practitioner give it to me. And typically when I get it, I mean, the medication is so thick, so most people end up like sleeping it off because it kind of disrupts your whole body after you take it, which I'll take like one day of disruption to like an entire month of pain, you know? But the way she stabbed me, I didn't even feel it. It was amazing. I was like, did you even give me my meds? Like I didn't even feel it. She was like, no, I'm very gentle. I was like, I can see that. It felt like she like pinched me, like you know, one of those teasing pinches. I was so confused. But then I felt it as soon as I came home. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure, she did give me that medication. I feel that shit. I feel that shit later. Yeah, I did accidentally tire myself out though because I had this whole day planned out where I was like, oh, I'm gonna like walk to my doctor's office. I know I am actually gonna go back to her. I scheduled my next visit actually. Scheduled my next visit. I was like, I gotta come back the same time that you're working. But I went to a different clinic because I live closer to a new clinic. So I was like, oh my God, perfect. I'm just gonna go because I don't need to go somewhere specific in order for them to give me my medication. I just need to have a nurse practitioner give it to me. So I was like, oh, I'll just go here and I'll take like a lovely walk. Like, it's not even that hot outside today. So, like, I walked 20 minutes to go to the clinic, which is fine. I kind of planned that because I was like, oh, I haven't taken a walk in forever. Like, this is great. Because I used to walk around like my neighborhood like all the time. I was like, oh my God, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. But then when I get to the clinic, they're like, yeah, I mean, I'm really busy. I was like, what? I was like, what? Because I never make an appointment because I don't like making appointments. I just like walking into the building and being like, can you see me? I know that's like pub, you have to make an appointment sometimes, but I'm not making a fucking appointment unless it's super serious. Like I'm not making a fucking appointment. Somebody here. No, I can't do that, gang. I can't. For free? No. For free? No. But yeah, you gotta go somewhere else. If you're looking for free affirmations, you can definitely go somewhere else and get that. Not here though. Yeah, I don't do that like mommy shit over here, so. Thank you, Billy, for the hydrate, the head pats, and the Reddit mod. I'm gonna do that in a second so I don't lose track. Yeah, but they were like, no, we're literally booked out, like out of the week. Like, we could see you tomorrow. Like, we can try and fit you in tomorrow. I was like, nah. Like, I gotta go today because like I gotta go to work tomorrow. So I'm not doing that. So they gave me an appointment for another clinic. That was like 30 minutes away, and I was like, now what the fuck did I just take this walk for? So now I had to do the walk of shame. I do the walk of shame all the way back home and drive anyway. I was like, oh my God, who needs cars? I'll just like walk. My neighborhood is walkable. But then I had to go get my fucking car anyway. I was like, oh my God. And the lady was like, is that gonna be a problem? I'm like, it's not a problem. It's just that I walked here because I was like, oh my God, finally I'm like close enough to a clinic that I don't have to like drive anymore. Because like my last clinic was like 40 minutes away from me. So it was like a dedicated drive whenever I'd have to go get my medication. I was like, oh my God, I can just like walk a quick 20 minutes. Nah, she was like, nah, it is full. I was like, okay. Okay, let me drive again anyway. But I ended up getting the medication, so it's fine. It ended up working out. It ended up working out just fine. But it did make me really tired because I was sore already by the time I started driving, and my legs feel like jelly now. Thank you. But I did get a good workout, so at least I worked out my body for the week. I don't know how. I don't know if I should just put like a big ass banner. At this point, I made the I also changed up the way the stream looks because I have been told that for some reason, even though I feel like it's massive on the screen, the information thing at the bottom is not big enough for people to read. So I made it bigger so that everybody can read it. You can see all the information that you need right there and then. So you're not asking me the same fucking question. Also in there, it does say, I'm not your fucking mommy. It does say that. I don't know if you guys need like a big old bright red thing in there. It's gonna ruin the aesthetic of the stream, but I'm thinking about it. I really am. Thinking about making a big ass red sign that sits on my forehead that says, "Stop calling me your fucking mother. Please go have a psychology class." Please sort that out between you and Freud. Not with me. I understand that I give like mommy energy. I've been told this basically my entire life, but I don't want to be anybody's mother. Sorry. I'm so sorry. It was not meant for me. But today we're going to read about a horrible mother. Well, she's not a horrible mother, but she is though. She kidnapped somebody's child, so she kidnapped somebody's child. She is a horrible mother. We're going to read about Janie and her awful mother that kidnapped her and refuses to give her. Well, we don't know if she kidnapped her. We haven't had the confrontation yet. We have yet to have a full direct confrontation where Janie looks her parents in the eyes and tells them, "I think you guys kidnapped me." We have yet to do that. We're going to read the face on the milk carton. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 more chapters left. I am so sad. I'm so sad and yet so excited. Because I'm like, I need her to confront her parents. I need her desperately to confront her parents, like, immediately. Absolutely immediately. Hi, Nasty. Hi-yo. And then after, I didn't know anything about this book. So, because in my head, I'm like, I don't understand how she's going to wrap this all up in like 4 chapters. I don't know if this book has a sequel. If it does, we will definitely read it. We're not reading it tonight, obviously, because I didn't look up anything about this book because I don't want to get spoiled. So I don't know if this book has a sequel. I would definitely be down to read it, though. We're going to find out. I would be down to read it, but like, I'm not going to read it tonight. So if there is a sequel, like, don't expect me to get to that. If there is one, I'm not getting to that tonight. We're just gonna, I think after the book is done, depending on when we finish, I think we're gonna be done in like maybe 2 hours. Yeah, about 2 hours. We'll just have like a nice little just chatting for maybe like 30 minutes or something like that. Maybe like an hour, and then that'll be stream. And then I think I need like a break. So then, like next week, maybe I'll just do like ASMR just chatting. Because I don't know if we're gonna have a just chatting stream next week. I don't even know if we're gonna have one this week, to be honest, on the main channel. So I don't even know if we're gonna have one on the main channel. So maybe I'll do it ASMR just chatting. An astronaut stream? What's that? I'm assuming you mean ASMR stream. Have I considered what? Thank you, Nicole. That's very sweet of you. I like snapping. I can't do it like all the time. I can't do like an entire stream of snapping because then my fingers will hurt, but I like doing it. It's fun. No, you haven't missed any ASMR streams because I picked up doing ASMR again when I started reading Alice in Wonderland, I think. Because I wanted to read again. So you haven't really missed anything. If it hasn't been on a Wednesday, then you haven't missed it. Because like I'm not doing extra streams, sorry. I'm not doing extra streams, sorry. When I do extra streams, nobody shows up to them, so I gotta have a nice and tight schedule. So ASMR only once a week. But I mean, I've done ASMR just chatting in the past, just not on this channel, on my main channel. But then I haven't done it here yet. But I think we'll do that next week because I think I need a break from reading. I do want to read, if this book has a sequel, I do want to read it. But we can have like a little cool off period. Yeah, a gorilla stream. How come? Is it because like I give off the energy that I wouldn't do gorilla streams? I'm too organized. How come? I know we're on the schedule. Yeah, because when I was doing, the only reason why I don't do like gorilla streams is because when I did them before, like literally nobody would show up. So like I have to be on a schedule now. That's why I put out the schedule. That's why I do everything on a schedule. And it's like you will not see a stream if it's not on the schedule because nobody would show up to the stream when I would do gorilla streams. Because sometimes I have like free time where it's like, oh, I have 3 hours, or I'm like really bored in the middle of the night. I'd love to do like an ASMR stream, or I'd love to do like a quick gaming stream. But then I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I can't. It's not gonna work. I have to be on the schedule. So, because I was doing that last year, I would just stream whenever I was busy, whenever I had free time. But then nobody showed up. So, womp womp. Womp womp. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. But it's okay. I shouldn't be streaming nonstop anyway. But yeah, that's what I think it's gonna be. So next week, I'm gonna take a break from reading because we've been doing back to back to back reading streams, and I'm just gonna do like a casual ASMR, just chatting night. No theme. I'm just gonna sit here and we're gonna yap it up while I do some triggers every now and again. Because I need a break from reading too. It's been a good one, but I need a break from reading as well. Unless something happens next week. What's next week? I'm gonna be tired too next week, but I think we should be good. Okay, anyway, about tonight. Fuck next week. We're talking about tonight. So, tonight's stream, we're gonna read The Face on the Milk Carton. Last we left off, Janie and her fuck ass. I shouldn't say fuck ass, but like, you know, her fuck ass. Janie and her fuck ass neighbor that she wants to have sex with, skip school, and they went to New Jersey to go investigate and go see whether or not Janie actually has family in New Jersey, based off of the milk carton that she found that has her face on it from when she was a child. They went to New Jersey. She didn't see her mom or a dad. She only saw sibling, what Janie says could possibly be her siblings. And then she freaked out and they left. And then these two idiots decided, oh, well, since we're already skipping school and like everybody hates us and our lives are going to shit, let's go have some sex, even though we're like 14. Let's go have some sex. And then they get to a motel and they don't end up actually doing anything, hilariously enough, which I'm happy about. But they do get in trouble with their parents because they skip school. Oh yeah, and before that, Janie did confront her parents about a lot of discrepancies in her life, where she's like, well, why don't I have any pictures before I was, like 4 years old? Like, where are all my baby pictures? Why did I go upstairs and I saw this little girl named Hannah? You have a bunch of stuff from Hannah. Like, who the hell is that? Also, there's a dress. I don't think she mentioned the dress to her parents, but there is a dress upstairs in the attic that is the exact same dress that a little girl that was wearing in the milk carton that Janie thinks is her. So she's like, all of this is a little strange. But her parents told her, well, you see, the truth is, we're not actually your parents. We're your grandparents, and we've been lying to you all this time. We're actually just your grandparents. Our daughter, your mother, was in a cult, and that's why you've never met her before. She's in a cult right now. And she had you in the cult, and all those memories that you have, they're in the cult. They were when you were in the cult, which I think, obviously I don't know because we're not done with the book yet, but I think it's a load of horse shit because that doesn't make any fucking sense. They claim that her daughter that was so invested in the cult wouldn't see her because she was so deep inside of the cult. See her meaning like her parents. And she was still so deep inside of the cult, and the cult had such a big grip on her, but suddenly she just broke away from the cult in order to like come home and deliver this child to the grandparents. That doesn't make any sense. Whatever. And then she went back to the cult, and her grandparents say that in the story, her grandparents parents say that her mom is out there somewhere, but they have no idea where the cult is because cults don't really exist anymore, which is also crazy. Boo. Tomato. Doesn't make any sense. They're like, yeah, cults like don't even really exist anymore, so like we wouldn't even know like where to go find her at this point. Like, we don't even know. We just knew that we had to, get away from her because the cult was dangerous and we had to protect you. So Janie she initially, when they're telling her this, it's kind of described that like Janie believes it, but then she goes and she fucks off to New Jersey where she thinks her actual family is. So she doesn't believe anything that her parents are actually telling her. But she's faking it for right now because in the last chapter, she, after she, went to New Jersey, this whole New Jersey trip with her next door neighbor, Reeves, who they're both like romantically interested in each other. She went to her local library under the guise of doing a school project, and she's going to start looking up information about the supposed cult that her mom supposedly is in, just so she can have all the evidence that she needs. Janie has yet to call the number on the milk carton. She does have the milk carton that has her face on it, but she has never called the 800 number, and she has not yet called the police on her parents. That's kind of like where we're at right now. And Reeves is the only person that knows that Janie potentially has been kidnapped by her parents. Nobody else in her life knows. Reeves is the only person that she's told. So that's where we're at right now. And Janie is about to go to her father's soccer game because her father coaches kids soccer. The other kidnapper. Okay, so we're gonna start in chapter 15. I'm just gonna kind of get into it like I always do. If you've never heard me read before, I like to I like to stop whenever I feel like I have a thought, and like make jokes and laugh. So if that's not something that you like and you're looking for like straightforward reading, there's a ton of audiobooks out there, and I wish you luck, good for you. But that's not what you're gonna get here. So if that's something that annoys you, you're free to go anywhere else, Yeah, triggers are totally fine, but don't expect me to do them like right away if I'm in the middle of reading, because like reading is my focus. This is not a free, just chatting sort of stream, I am actively trying to finish the rest of this book. The triggers are kind of just there if you want them, Yeah. I think that's kind of it. So get comfy. I'm very sweaty right now. I'm very sweaty right now. So I will be adjusting in my seat nonstop. I don't know what it is these days. Like I am literally so sweaty. Specifically like under my boobs. So sweaty. My boobs are just like this like nonstop cycle of collecting boob sweat. Is hot on the bingo. Hot is on the bingo, but I don't think I have bingo set up for this channel, unfortunately, Me being sweaty and boob sweat. Boob sweat's on the bingo somewhere. No, I don't have bingo set up on this channel. That's a main channel activity. It's a main channel activity. I did that mostly because like most people aren't like awake on ASMR, Most people tend to like fall asleep during the ASMR stream, so I'm like, there's not really a point in me making a bingo when people are gonna be sleeping pretty much, or chilling, or AFK. Alright, let's get into it. I need to find out what is gonna happen at this soccer game. Okay, get as comfy as you need, and I'm going to lock in the first like couple pages. I'm gonna be a little disoriented though because I haven't started reading yet. Chapter 15. Soccer season was nearly over. Cake decorating was drawing to a close, and her mother wanted to take pottery next. Janie had taken the polka dot dress out of the trunk, washed it, ironed it, and hung it in the back of her closet. Every morning and every night she touched it as routinely as she brushed her teeth. She had made dozens of entries in the silver book. Writing cleansed it. It removed the badness from her mind and kept it safely on paper. Autumn had all but vanished. One maple hung onto a few yellow leaves, and a hedgerow was wine red behind the house. On Saturday, the sky was indigo blue, like new jeans. That threw me off. I was thinking about the K-pop band. I was like, new jeans. The wind was soft and warm, as if it had news to spread. Let's go for a drive, said Reeve, who was having breakfast with the Johnsons. He liked breakfast there on weekends because Mrs. Johnson, who ignored weekday breakfast, got excited on Saturdays and produced waffles, bacon, and melon slices. Reeve's mother just said that she had been making breakfast for 27 years, and anybody who wanted breakfast again this year knew where the cereal was. It's perfect weather to head into the horizon, said Janie's mother, looking out the window. It's funny how you feel that tug only in the fall, said her father. Father? No other season. In the autumn, you want to go, drive, have a journey. When had Hannah decided to leave? Janie wondered. Out loud, she said, Where shall we go, Reeve? Anywhere. I have a tank full of gas and I earned money last week cleaning out the McKay's garage and cellar. I'm rich. We can eat lunch anywhere. He grinned at her. Friday, when she got home, Janie had dumped her book bag on the kitchen floor. Now, getting up for more orange juice, she shoved it out of the way, and the books fell out, spreading across the linoleum. I'm so scared. Because in her bag is where the milk carton is. The milk carton. She put it in her fucking bag. Oh my god, she put it in their bag. And that's where the book is, where the milk carton. Oh my god. This is a mess. This is already a mess. It's like all the evidence is just out on the floor in front of everybody. Janie, said her mother crossly, how many times do I have to tell you to carry your book bag directly up to your room? 6 million, said Janie. With his shoes, Reeve pushed the books into a pile to pick up. Reeve, said Janie, how many times do I have to tell you to handle school property carefully? 6 million, he said. Thanks for the waffles, Mrs. Johnson. Maybe Janie and I will drive to Vermont and get you more maple syrup. Together, he and Mrs. Johnson began picking up the books. Vermont, said Janie's father. That's 4 hours away. We'd still get back before dark, said Reeve. Janie's mother scooped up the books nearest her chair. The load was too heavy for her hand, and she dropped back on the floor. The blue cloth English notebook fell open. The milk carton lay exposed. Janie lunged forward, slamming the cover shut and grabbing her books. Her parents stared at her. Sorry, said Janie with a bright, crazy smile on her face. Her heart was throbbing. Her horrible headache had begun again. She already knew tonight's nightmare. The carton falling out, her parents seeing it, New Jersey, exposed and waiting. She put the books back in the book bag, zipped it shut, and ran upstairs with it. Clattering back down, she grabbed the jacket Reeve tossed and slipped her arms in the heavy sleeves. Let's go, Reeve. I mean, say it's for a project. I don't think that's gonna work in this case. I mean, like, okay, stay with me on this, right? You have just committed a crime. You thought you got away with it for Janie's 14, so at least 10 years, right? Because they kidnapped her when she was 3, so 11 years. Now the evidence sits inside of your kidnappee's bag, and she has it. That's not gonna go over well. I think they would immediately. It's a good that Janie got that shit, because they would immediately. they clap her. I mean, I don't think they're gonna kill her, but I don't think they're gonna kill her, but like I have no idea what like that's what I'm also confused about in terms of like end game with this because I'm like what is your end game in kidnapping somebody? Like what's the end game, you know? Okay, you kidnapped her, you kept her for like 20 years. Like even if she became an adult, right? Was she never gonna go to fucking New Jersey? Like that's the thing. And I know people would be like, well, some people never go to New Jersey, right? But she lives literally right around the corner from New Jersey. Like she lives right around the corner from fucking New York. She might want to go. She might want to go to fucking New Jersey at some point. I'm so confused by this. Why did they move so fucking close to where they kidnapped the girl? Like what is this end game? Like general curiosity. I mean, like if I live close to New York, like I'd just go with my boyfriend on like a random weekend or something like that, you know? And I'm talking about Reeve in this case, not my boyfriend. I don't have one, but you understand the scenario. You understand the scenario. I'm like, if I had kidnapped somebody, I'd move us to fucking like Japan or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna move completely out of the way. Like, you're gonna have zero memories, you know? No memories of New Jersey. Like, they're playing a dangerous game. Like, they live right around the corner. Janie went to New Jersey on a fucking day trip with her boyfriend. I mean, come on now. Come on now. A telephone if you're going to be out after dark, said her father. Reeve promised. He took Janie's hand and swung her around like a dance partner. They ran out of the house. He was in a great mood. He talked steadily. Janie loved to listen to him. In Reeve's childhood, Megan, Lizzie, and Todd had done all the talking. Reeve's delight was when, at last, both sisters and his brother were away. That were away came through in his speech for a change. And for a change, Reeve could have the audience. I must have wanted an audience too, thought Janie. I was only 3.5, and I wanted a bigger audience. Oh, it's very sad. It's really sad because, like, I feel so bad for Janie because, like, she literally blames herself for her kidnapping. Where she's like, I sold out my parents for a fucking ice cream. And it's like, girl, you were 3 years old. Like, you were 3 years old. I mean, have you ever tried talking to a 3-year-old? They'll sell you out for literally anything. They'll sell you out for an episode of Bubble Guppies. I mean, come on now. You were 3, like, I'm sure if you told a 3-year-old if you want to see some Paw Patrol, they'd go crazy. Ice cream? Free ice cream? Wow. That's a wrap. That is a wrap. I do. I do, and I'm not blaming the parents. I am saying you gotta watch your kids. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm not blaming the parents. I am saying you have to watch your kids. And I know this book takes place in an era where Sears is still around, so the technology's gotten better. But I'm like, maybe don't have like 6 kids. I don't know. Maybe just like don't have 6 kids if you like can't watch all 6. Like that's just my idea, you know? Because like Janie has like what, 4? They have a big family. Her actual biological family is like pretty big. I'm like, maybe stop having the kids. I don't know. If stop having them. It's a little bit too much. Circuit City, well, you know, you're taking me back. Let's talk about Radio Shack next. Reeve did all the driving. She had not had another driving lesson with either parent. They would have to talk about licenses if they did, and the birth certificate problem, and she was afraid of screaming. But I know my real birthday. I can make one phone call, and they'll send me my real birth certificate. She was trying to fence off all the dangerous places where things might cave in, where they would know that she knew. I mean, there's a Blockbuster out there. It's in Alaska. The one Blockbuster that's left. She kept having the sense that if she could steer her life right, the way Reeve was steering the Jeep right, they would avoid ever hitting the kidnapping. I looked up the kidnapping in the New York Times, said Janie. She had interrupted him. Reeve stopped his story and drove on, looking straight ahead, his body stiff. He thought my mind was on him, Janie thought, and now he knows it wasn't. I'm sorry, what were you saying? He shrugged. I thought you were going to stop worrying about New Jersey, he said. I was. So what happened? I can't, he said, trying to be lighthearted. I'm not enough of a distraction for you, huh? The only thing anybody wants is to be the center of a universe, she thought. Reeve had to wait for Megan, Lizzie, and Todd to go away before he could be the center. I wanted the center so much, I traded my family for an ice cream sundae. What did I just say? What did I just say? She said, You're not a distraction. You're the light of my life. She thought he would make a face at this Valentine's card sentiment. But he said, Really? His face relaxed somewhat. Really, said Jane. Janie. His face relaxed completely. Reeve stopped at a restaurant. It was too early to eat anything when they were still waffle stuffed. He ordered Cokes. Reeve chewed ice. Don't do that, she said. You might crack your teeth. There are parts of me I wish you'd pay more attention to than my teeth, said Reeve. They flirted. She loved the little silly sentences, the innuendo. Sarah Charlotte may look older and act older, thought Janie happily, but I'm the one doing older things. When Reeve paid for the Cokes, she studied him, how he enjoyed looking in his wallet, seeing the thick wad of money, leaving a generous tip because he was glad to be driving away instead of waiting table. He liked getting her jacket from the peg where he had hung it up, and he liked holding her hand as they left. I love you, she thought, and she kissed him just as they were going through the doors. So she got caught in the glass, bumping into a patron trying to enter. If New Jersey hadn't happened, thought Janie, I wouldn't have my own parents, or my house, or school, or Sarah Charlotte, or Reeve. They never reached Vermont. They saw a sign for a state park and drove in. The narrow road wound among thick, dark hemlocks and emerged at a cascading waterfall where boulders were surrounded by mountain laurel. The sun glittered on the leaping water, and when they parked, the sun's rays turned the interior of the car into a heated sunroom. I love you, Reeve, she whispered, lying against him. You know that? What? If I ever get in touch with New Jersey, I'll have to say, lucky for me, I got kidnapped. Of course, I'm not getting in touch. I never think about it anymore. I wrote it all down and spiraled it away. Reeve took a very deep breath. She giggled when his chest lifted her like an escalator and then sank her back down. I called my sister, he said. Lizzie. Janie snuggled under Reeve's throat and felt it vibrate when he spoke. I told Lizzie everything, said Reeve. You what? Screamed Janie. She flung herself backward. She would have known things if there had been anything loose. You would have thrown things if there had been anything loose in the Jeep. I had to, Janie. You need advice. And what do I know? She's a lawyer, or she's going to be. How dare you? Screamed Janie. How dare you tell anybody without my permission? I haven't even told my own mother and father, and here you are telling Lizzie, who I can't even stand. She was so frantic. The Jeep was rocking. Reeve put on the parking brake. Listen, Janie, I told her everything you told me, and she said, whatever Lizzie said, I don't want to hear it. I'm sorting this out in my own mind, and you're losing your own mind, Janie. Thank you. I don't know why I can't see. Thank you for the follow question mark. I don't know why I can't see followers in chat. I can't see like any followers in chat. Like the follower notification, like I don't see it at all. If there's been like follows, I haven't seen it at all because it's not popping up in chat, which is weird. Let me look real quick. This isn't the conversation I wanted. I mean, yeah, I'm like, that's weird. Yeah, I don't see any notifications in there. Because normally I don't just, I mean, Stream Elements is definitely working. Let me look though. Yeah, that pop-up just came up. Let me look. I definitely have followers turned on. Let me look. Let me switch. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay, whatever. I pressed the wrong button. I did not mean to do that. I really did not mean to do that. Yikes. Stream glitch. I don't know. I don't know. I pressed the wrong button, meaning I logged myself out, but but all my stuff looks. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I just logged out. That's what I was like complaining about. Let me see. I was like, why did I just press that? Okay, maybe it'll be fine now. I don't know. I didn't really do anything. So I don't know. I didn't really do anything. But I'm gonna give kisses anyway. Because like I haven't seen any kiss notifications, so I wasn't purposefully trying to lie to anybody. I just literally didn't see any kiss notifications or any follower notifications. Wasn't doing that to be like a liar. Should I follow and unfollow? Wow, you would do that for me, Emu? You would do that for me? Don't do that right now. Don't do that right now. I'm still in the settings. Hold up. Yeah, I'm gonna do like 2 minutes of how much long? I'll do like 3 minutes of kissing just to like make up for everybody. I'll do like 3 minutes of it in a minute, but because I literally have not been seeing any of kiss redeems, like, or follower redeems. I said kiss redeems. But like I haven't seen any of them, so I was so confused. I'm like, I saw that at the top. I was like, what the fuck? No, there's no kiss redeems. I keep saying follower. I keep switching it in my head because I give kisses for followers. I keep switching it up in my head. There is no kiss redeem. It does not exist. It's a figment of your imagination. Hi, Dial. Hiyo. Hi, Nate. Hiyo. Okay, maybe now when, maybe now when, no, there were kiss redeems like on the main channel. There were definitely kiss redeems on the main channel, but that was forever ago. I'm not denying that. I'm saying there were no kiss redeems here. There's none of that over here. Yeah, that's so weird. Like the top of the hour ad break is here. The top of the hour ad break is here. I think it should be fine. I didn't really touch anything. I just kind of like logged into my account and looked at it. Oh, there we go. See? That's so weird. Anyway, thank you for the follow. Thank you. The ad break. I just logged into the account. Like, I don't know what that's about, but I don't know. But I'm gonna do 3 minutes of kisses to make up for all the kisses that I missed before. I don't know how many kisses I missed before, but I just like logged in and I just unchecked it and I checked it again, so I guess that fixed it. I am going to do 3 minutes of kisses, and that should take you to the ad break. If you're a non-sub, you'll be experiencing 3 minutes of advertisements in about 5 minutes, so that should take you into it. And then I'm going to lock back in on reading. Okay. So if you don't like kiss redeems, sorry, I'm gonna do like 3 minutes of it. So close your ears and come back in like 3 minutes, okay? Because I'm gonna just do that. I'm not gonna talk, okay? Mwah. I feel like that makes up for it completely. I was giggling because, like when I kiss, I have to make the sound. I have to go, mwah. Otherwise, like, am I kissing? Like, you can't just, like, you know, you need to, like, make the sound too, you know? Mwah. Like, the kiss, it adds to the kiss, you know? Oh, so thanks, memes, for the resub. Thank you. I know. I do it, like, subconsciously. Honestly, like, when I kiss people, I always go, mwah. But kisses for memes because they sub. Thank you. Thanks much. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. Very much. Okay. And I think that's it. I think that's it. Yay. Okay. People should be in the ad break at this point. So I'm gonna go back to reading if there's nothing else. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna go back to reading. Let's find out about Reeve snitching. He's not snitching. He's not snitching. He's being a good boyfriend, honestly. Because, like, I don't know if my partner, which I don't have, but, like, my hypothetical partner, if they were like, yeah, I was kidnapped, can you keep that secret from me? I'd be like, I don't know. To be honest, I'd be like, I don't know. I think we should go talk to, like, a lawyer or something. Like, I don't know if it's even appropriate for me to, like, harbor that secret, actually. Especially because, like, Janie is, like, not well, you know? Because she's, like, freaking out, like, every 2 sentences. She's, like, freaking out about this literally every 2 sentences. She's, like, staring off into space and, like, being weird. So, like, yeah, I think, like, he should have told his sister. I think he should tell his sister. Also, he's a kid, so I also can't blame him because he's also a child. Like, these are 2 children trying to figure out, like, this kidnapping all on their own, so I can't be too mad at him. His voice was so soft. He could. Let me start that over. His voice was so soft, she could hardly hear it. Inside her head was a terrible racket. The crying and laughing of voices had passed. She felt like a snow flurry. She was coming down fast, in tiny, wind-whipped particles. No, I'm not losing my mind, she said desperately. Am I? He held her again. She did not feel like a person in his arms, but like a small, scared animal. That word for Hannah's chosen husband, a mate, like an animal. Am I really Hannah's daughter? Could that be the truth? Will I turn out weird like Hannah? Am I already weird? Lizzie looked up the kidnapping in the New York Times, Janie. All the subsequent articles and the follow-ups. Janie, are you ready for this? I'm not ready for anything. Lizzie thinks it's Hannah who kidnapped you. We all agree that Mr. and Mrs. Johnson just wouldn't do that, couldn't do that. Isn't it much more reasonable that Hannah really did run away from the cult? Stopped at that shopping center in New Jersey. Maybe she had stolen a car, or the cult guards had gotten caught up to her. She was afraid. She ran inside, and there was this sweet little girl who would hold her hand. Lizzie thinks that maybe Hannah took you along for company, and Hannah was such a lost soul that maybe she didn't even know she was kidnapping you. But if she did know, She sure wouldn't tell her mother and father when she got to their house. Peace settled on Janie. She felt heavier, as if her weight might press on Reeve till his ribs broke. She said, "Mother and Daddy aren't bad then." "Well, we don't know anything for sure, but that way, your parents' story is entirely true. Lizzie and I can't believe that they would have been part of anything criminal or evil." Hannah was the evil criminal. Janie was so lethargic, she could not imagine moving again. How wonderful to place the crime on a woman who no longer counted in anybody's life. The sun fondled her lovingly, or was it Reeve? In an odd way, she felt even more like an animal, soaking up the sun, no worries, no cares, no concern for the future, just affection and warmth. That's what I'm saying, Inu. Like, okay, let's go with this story, which I also think is a load of fucking crap. Like, I understand that these people, and when I say these people, I'm talking about Reeve and his family, i.e. Lizzie. They're like, well, we've known them our whole lives. Like, we just don't think that they would have done something like that, which, by the way, is classic true crime documentary shit. Every single time they're like, we never expected this would have happened. And that's exactly why it happened. But in this story, she has still been kidnapped. They are still kidnapping this girl, even if they didn't know, right? Even if they didn't know. Why wouldn't they go get her birth certificate, right? That's the part that I'm still stuck on. Okay, so your daughter just brings back her daughter, right? Why wouldn't you immediately go and get her a birth certificate? Why are they being so weird about that? That's the part that's getting to me. I'm like, even in that scenario, they're still weird. Even in that scenario, they're still fucking weird. They're weird as shit. Because, like, what are they talking about? Oh, we just can't get your birth certificate. A grandparent would immediately want to get that fucking birth certificate. Are you joking? And here's another thing. I'm like, and I know I already said, like, what if Janie wants to explore? Janie is not going to be 13 forever. She's 14 now. But, like, well, technically, she thinks that she's 16, but she's not. She's 14. But, like, she's not going to be, like, 16, 14 forever. She's never going to travel abroad. Like, she's never going to travel abroad. This family's wealthy. She's never going to travel abroad. Are you kidding me? She's dating a 17-year-old. She thinks she's 16. This is okay. She's dating a fucking kid that has a fat stack of cash inside of his wallet. You think the two of them are never gonna take a trip to Cabo? Like, you need a passport, brother. You think that's the part where I'm like, long term, this shit doesn't make any fucking sense. They literally, that's what I was saying last stream. I'm like, why did they not make this document, like forge this fake ass document 10 years ago? This is so confusing. They had 11 years to do this shit. They had 11 years because, I mean, like, Janie wasn't cognizant for like a lot. I mean, she was. I don't want to like be like kids don't remember things. Kids definitely do. And Janie has remembered, you know, her original birth parents somewhat. But like, while she was like 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, they could have forged that document. I mean, come on now. Like, you already stole a child. Like, you're drawing the line at like piracy, forgery. Come on now. Just do it. It's like so confusing to me. And it's so crazy that like Lizzie would even think that this is a possibility, because I'm like, okay, Lizzie, the lawyer, you don't think it's fucking weird that she doesn't have a fucking birth certificate? Like, the lawyer? Interesting. You're not gonna tell this little girl to call the number on the milk carton? Interesting. Interesting. I'm like, maybe Lizzie is the real op of this story. Maybe they all did it. I don't know. Maybe the entire town kidnapped this girl, because why would she tell her this information? Why would she do that? Well, she told Reeve about, well, the way they described it in the last chapter, she just said, like, I told Reeve everything. So, like, I don't know. I'm assuming she said, like, oh, I told Reeve, like, you know, everything about what I was thinking, about, like, all the evidence that I had and everything. So that I would assume that would include, like, no pictures since she was, like, 3 years old. Or, like, 4, because they kidnapped her at 3. So, 4 years old, and, her not being able to access her birth certificate. But I'm like, why would Lizzie, whatever, you wouldn't download a car? I definitely would download a car. I would download anything. I would literally download anything. If they would let me download a to scale figure of Xavier from Love and Deep Space, I would also download that. I would download an iPhone. I would download gasoline. I would download $3 billion. I would literally download anything if I could. Yeah. that commercial always cracked me up. You wouldn't download a car. It's like, I definitely would. I always thought that. I'm like, why would they even say this? I'm already taken from Netflix. What do you mean? I would take from anybody. Definitely, if I could. Shit, I would steal from Amazon if they'd let me. If I could figure out a way, I'd definitely take from Amazon too. Alright, let's lock in on the rest of this chapter. I don't know, said Reeve. I don't think Hannah sounds evil or criminal. I think she sounds like a scared, cold-blinded automaton. Even at 3, you were a hand to hold, somebody to talk to in the car, somebody to give Hannah courage until she reached her own mommy and daddy and was safe again. Janie liked it. It meant her parents had told no lies, were sane, and good. Or really did consider themselves her grandparents or parents. There are too many parents in this, she said to Reeve. Tell me about it. And now I've thrown in Lizzie, who's tougher than any 4 parents I know anyhow. Lizzie sees kind of a problem, though, Janie. If we tell anybody about it, see, kidnapping is a federal offense, no matter how many years have gone by. Like murder, you can still be tried, so if we say anything, the FBI would have to locate Hannah to prove or disprove our theory. It took too much effort to even lean on Reeve's chest. She managed to lie down, her head in his lap, her feet on the passenger seat, her back full of gear shifts. Isn't that uncomfortable? Said Reeve. Yes, but I'm too tired to sit up. Reeve reached awkwardly into the back seat and retrieved a stadium blanket. Let's sit out there by the waterfall. He had to uncurl her from the gear sticks. They staggered into a spot of sunshine, and he spread the blanket on a rock hot with sun. Can you imagine the publicity? Said Janie. All those horrible newspapers in the grocery racks, talk shows where everybody else on it has trans, bi, cross, sexual habits. Oh my god, she shuddered. I can hardly wait to be among them. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Janie, I didn't know you were a bigot. That's crazy. Well, maybe she did deserve to get kidnapped. I don't know. Maybe she... Wait a minute. Maybe Janie did deserve to get kidnapped. I don't know. Maybe she had it coming. I don't... We have to remember she was raised by those people. That's not really Janie. What if her real family are like progressive? What if her brothers are queer? We don't know this. We don't know this. She's like this because of her parents. We have to remember this. have to remember this. She's like that because of her parents. That's not actually how her biological parents would have raised her, I imagine. It's just a crazy thing to write in there. And also, when did this book come out, actually? I have no idea when the book came out. Oh my god. That old? Wait, that can't be it. Oh my god, wait, hold up. Dude, it was published in 1990. Oh yeah, they didn't give a fuck about trans people back then. They didn't give a fuck. 1990. Wow, it really holds up, actually. Like, for the most part, that's crazy. It really does hold up. That's crazy. I mean, like, this is the first time in the book where I'm like, you know, but I think we can also blame it on our parents, because, I mean, we don't know. We didn't get to see her biological family. What if her biological family are like hippie-loving, queer-loving people? We don't know. We don't know because Janie didn't want to meet them. We got these kidnapping homophobes that raised her. She can't help it. Reeve said, I'd settle for any sexual habit at all, Janie. I want to finish this topic first. Reeve sighed. Lizzie says if you're going to get in touch with New Jersey, you'll have to handle it privately. I suppose Lizzie thinks she's the best person in the world to handle it. Lizzie has always thought she's the best person in the world to handle anything, said Reeve. I've never liked that trait. It's even worse when you have to live with it. And when Megan and Todd are exactly the same. You know Megan and Todd and Lizzie, said Janie. You grew up with them. I didn't grow up with my brothers and sisters. Do you think they'd ever talk about me at supper? Or keep my picture on the wall? Or say to each other, she'd be a sophomore in high school now. I'm sure they do, said Reeve. He was kissing her everywhere. He had unbuttoned nothing and was feeling through the fabric. His mind was definitely not on New Jersey. This fucking guy. He wants this pussy so bad. Oh my god, this fucking guy. This fucking guy. It's not funny, but like, it's kind of funny. I'm like, this is not the time. Like, actually not the time. One bad thing is still true, though, said Janie, starting to cry. What? He kissed her tears. She kissed his lips, tasting the salt of her own weeping. I'm still a rotten little kid who wanted more attention and was willing to be kidnapped to get it. Reeve laughed. You can't have been too rotten if they're advertising on milk cartons to get you back. We're both frantic, she thought. His heart is racing for me. My heart is racing for fear. She said, there are only two choices. Right. Either we do it or we don't. I vote we do it. Wrong. Either I get in touch with New Jersey or I don't. I vote I don't. I vote that too. Who needs another family? Reeve shifted half on top of her. His weight was warm and convincing. These people. She's like, I don't need to think about my other family. I'm trying to get this dick right now. By the waterfall, I need to get some penis. My parents don't understand that I need to get some dick tonight. Like, Janie, I need you to lock the fuck in. Like, can you imagine? Like, can you imagine? I'm just thinking about, like, on her parents' side. Obviously, we don't know what her biological parents are experiencing because we don't know them, right? But, like, if I had a kid and then my kid got kidnapped at 3 years old and I had put out fucking milk cartons and I found out later that, like, they knew that they had been kidnapped and chose to stay and then chose to go get some penis. instead of coming home to me. I don't know. I feel some type of way about that. I'm not gonna lie. I know Janie is entitled to her own emotions, and also I would feel some type of way about that. I would feel some type of way about that. I'd be like, you really went and got some penis instead of coming home to like your family? Like, he's like, well, the other family's like really rich, so, oh. Because, like, that's another thing, too. Not to say that, like, her other family isn't rich, because, like, we saw the neighborhood. It's, like, nice neighborhood. Like, they're also wealthy. They're also wealthy, but it's like Janie is the only child in that system, like, in her kidnapping system. That's way different than being, like, a child of, like, 4 or a child of, like, 5. You know what I mean? When you're the only child, you get all the attention on you, which is what she was just talking about. When there's 4 of you, it gets divided. Chapter 16. The following Sunday, they rented movies. Sarah Charlotte brought Jason and potato chips. He's kind of a potato chip himself. She whispered to Janie. Hush, said Janie. I like Jason. I do too, said Sarah Charlotte. But he isn't romantic. He's just Jason. Janie nodded. I got the romantic in the crowd, she said. See my little pumpkin pin? Reeve gave it to me on Thanksgiving Day. That's so neat, cried Sarah Charlotte. Mrs. Johnson brought in an immense bowl of popcorn. The 4 of them sat in a circle on the rug, arguing whether the popcorn or the Trivial Pursuit board deserved the middle. Jason says since he had rented the movies, he got to choose the first one. Reeve said somebody would have to sit with his back to the movie if they were playing Trivial Pursuit at the same time, which wasn't going to be him. Bets on who will win Trivial Pursuit, said Sarah Charlotte, inelegantly stuffing a fistful of popcorn in her mouth. Not me, said Reeve. I never know anything except sports. Not me, said Janie. I never know anything. Oh, good, said Sarah Charlotte. I love playing with dumb boobs. I always know everything. Your go, Janie. Janie rolled the dice. She chose geography. Sarah Charlotte took a card and read the question. Did Reeve give you the milk carton as well as the pumpkin pin? Does the milk carton have some sort of romantic significance? Janie choked on her popcorn. Reeve slapped her on the back. Sarah Charlotte, read the real question. But we're all dying to know, Janie, said Jason. You open your notebook 20 times a day and stare into that milk carton. Come on, admit it. What's it all about? Her mother brought in a tray of turkey sandwiches on rye and 2 liters of Coke. I wondered about that too, darling, she said. That Saturday you practically had a heart attack because your notebook fell open. All I saw was flower diary. Sick fear enveloped Janie like a fog. Not here, she thought. Not in front of Jason and Sarah Charlotte. Not when Mom is the happy hostess and good mother. In fact, not ever. I voted to not have New Jersey. Since when is it anybody's business but ours? Said Reeve. He rolled over against Janie and kept rolling until he had flattened her. From beneath him, she made a strangling, let me have air noises. Uncle, whispered Janie. Reeve rolled off into the carpet again. He lay on his back and said to the rest, young lovers deserve privacy. Sarah Charlotte looked twice as interested. She knows where my milk carton is, thought Janie. She'll study that she's figured out everything. I'll be back in a minute, cried Janie. She ran upstairs into her room, ripped the carton out of the notebook, and rushed to the bathroom. Locking the door behind her, she started to shred the carton to flush it down the toilet. but she could not tear it in half. The milk carton was all that existed of herself. She walked back into her bedroom and slid it between the mattress and the bed springs instead. Listen, I'm not going to tell anybody how to deal with their grief, okay? I'm not going to tell Janie how she should deal with her grief. I will say, it's interesting, Janie. Very interesting that you still kept it. It's like, she's internally waiting until she's ready to like call the number, like she's not ready yet. But she knows she wants to call, because like why else would she keep it? There had been a week of peace, a solid week without nightmares or daymares. In a silver notebook, Janie wrote all theories and possible variations. Then she began condensing and choosing the most likely for the final drafts. What do you want a final draft for? Said Reeve irritably. What's the plan now? You're going to mail some anonymous notebook to New Jersey? He was very tense with her. He had taken her 20 miles to go to a very popular, expensive pizza and video game place and had bought dozens of tokens. They were sitting together playing a war game, and he wanted to laugh and be silly and win. New Jersey was just interfering. Of course not, said Janie. It's just for me. Reeve said. It's Pandora's box, isn't it? The myth. The minute you open that milk carton, it was all there. Every evil thing. And you'll never be able to put it back. It's out now. The only evil, she said, is that I don't mind that it happened. I like my life. You see, I can't tell you how tired I am of New Jersey. I just want to finish my thought, okay? He looked at the screen. He counted the tokens in his palm. He shrugged. Okay. She stabbed the game button. I'm gonna beat the pants off you, boy. He laughed. Anytime, girl. His bombers attacked her tanks. Now, here is where I have to say Reeve needs to get away from her. Now, here is where I have to say, Reeve, get the fuck away from her immediately. I need you to get away from her. He's pissing me off. He's pissing me off really bad. What do you mean your girlfriend just found out that she has been kidnapped and she's like processing it and she wants to talk about it with you? And this man is talking about getting some pussy and playing some fucking video games. I need you to get the fuck away from her. I need you to get the fuck away from her. She was like crying. I didn't even address it in the last chapter, but like she was crying and he was still like, I'm trying to get that pussy. Brother, I need you to get away from her. I need you to get away from her like immediately. And again, he's also a child, so like I can't be too much on him because I'm like, I can't be too much on him, right? Like, he is a child. I'm an adult. But, like, you need to get the fuck away from that girl. I think now, you're allowed to, like, stone him a little bit. Like, now's the time. Because you need to get the fuck away from her. He's like, I just want to play some fucking video games. Why do you keep talking about the fact that you were almost kidnapped? Or not even almost. Why are you talking about the fact that you were kidnapped? That has nothing to do with anything. She continued her thoughts in the silver notebook. If Reeve was tired of New Jersey, the notebook was all she had now. Why didn't Frank and Miranda see the newspaper coverage of the kidnapping? It was on the television news for days, too. I suppose they were pretty distracted that week. Hannah had returned, complete with granddaughter, and they fled. Who had time for a morning paper? If they had bought a paper the day after Hannah came, Frank would have seen the photograph, would have called the police himself, taken the Springs little girl home. Hannah would have been imprisoned. The Johnsons' lives, no. Back then, they were still the Javinsons, would have been completely different, grimmer, emptier. I would have no memory of the Johnsons instead of no memory of the Springs. That's another great point. I didn't even think about that because Jamie is like, well, if I was kidnapped by Hannah, like, my kidnapping was literally in the New York Times. You're telling me you didn't read the newspaper in 1990? 1990, you weren't reading the fucking newspaper? It was on the news. Like, nobody saw that I was kidnapped. Nobody recognized my face, even though I literally looked exactly the same. So I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the news. Because it was like on the news for like weeks. Like, her parents put in the fucking work. It was in the newspaper for weeks and in the news. Suspicious. Suspicious. That night, she went to an awards banquet at which her father, as coach, received a trophy. It was a typical banquet meal: gravy, red meat, and wilted salad. Her father even made a little speech, thanking not just his team and the team's parents, but his beloved wife and daughter. He wanted Janie to take the trophy for him. Janie smiled back at her father, tall and perfect. The after-school athlete was an odd match for the dedicated, formal, elegant comedy woman he had married. They smiled at her, and she knew they had forgotten Hannah right then. She was their daughter. She was their love. She stood up in the banquet hall, and hundreds of little soccer players and their parents applauded for Janie, who had done nothing whatsoever. She stood up, and a mother nearby whispered, "Look at that wonderful red hair. Isn't she a beautiful child? The Johnsons are so lucky." They were photographed as a trio. It would be in the sports pages. Her mother whispered, "I'm so glad you wore the purple sweater. Nobody believes a redhead looks great in purple until they see you, Janie." Thank you for the follow. Thank you. The photographer shouted, "Smile now. Smile, everybody." Janie smiled. She thought, if I do not tell New Jersey that I am safe, I am still the spoiled brat, still the rotten daughter who didn't care about the family that she had left behind. The only way to be a good daughter is to tell. They left the banquet to the handshakes of parent after parent, thanking Mr. Johnson for all the hours, all the sportsmanship, all the encouragement, all the positive thinking he had given their sons and daughters. That night, Janie lay on her bed, holding the telephone in her arms like a teddy bear, dialing the 800 number. This time, she let it ring. It rang once, twice, 3 times. They're not home, thought Jamie. How can a toll-free 800 number not be home? 4 times. Adair's parents have each remarried since the divorce, so Adair has 4 parents, 2 mothers, 2 fathers. It's not so unusual. I can do it too. 5. There was a click. Her heart slammed upward in her chest. The carefully rehearsed sentences vanished from her head. Her mouth was so dry, her tongue scraped. Oh my God, what have I done? Her head screamed. I've betrayed my mother and father. You have reached, began a recording. The voice asked her to leave her name, number, and a brief message after the tone, and they would get back to her. After the tone, Janie hung up. The phone rang in her arms. Its shrillness invaded her heart, making her leap from her bed, scattering books to the floor. They tapped my phone. They're calling back. They've got me. Hi, Sarah Charlotte, said Sarah Charlotte, who always spoke as if she were phoning herself. Hey, girl, what's up? Said Jeannie. She was slippery with sweat. She even smelled of fear and tasted it in her mouth. It was like biting metal. You know Reeve's best friend, Michael? Not very well. Better than I do. I adore Michael. Do you think you can ask Reeve to ask Michael to ask me out? Janie could hardly get through the conversation. She had to plan every sentence, figure ahead the possible answers to possible questions. It was harder than homework. Sarah Charlotte babbled on and on about Michael and boys and friendship between boys. Usually Janie could pass an hour, even 2 hours, on these precise topics. Don't you and Reeve ever do things with Michael? He and Michael used to be inseparable. Isn't Michael always over at Reeve's house? Janie struggled to listen. Her mind exploded with loyalties and parents. She could not seem to put Sarah Charlotte into the framework of her life. She could not figure out the conversation they were having. What kind of friendship is it when the only words you say now are yes, no, maybe, and said Sarah Charlotte. I'm sick of this, Janie. You aren't fun anymore. You don't even like us anymore. She tried to find an explanation that did not include New Jersey. That isn't true, she whispered, but Sarah Charlotte had already hung up. Reeve drove straight. I mean, I never liked Sarah Charlotte, so, I don't know what I'm supposed to say about this. Sarah Charlotte is, actually a bitch throughout this entire book, so I don't know. I know it's, crazy I'm calling, a 16-year-old a bitch, but sometimes 16-year-olds are bitches, I don't know. And that applies to men and women. I'm not being like that, I'm saying, because I think Reeve is being a little bitch, too. He's over here can you stop talking about your kidnapping for 5 minutes so I can try and fuck you? Bro, get away from her. Get away from her. Yeah, she really was never a friend. Reeve drove straight for the scenic overlook. She knew by his driving it was more physical, more excited. I want to be a nice person, she thought. I want to be the kind of little girl who would have screamed for help when she got kidnapped. I don't want to be somebody who thought it was neat. I don't want to be Jenny Spring. Reeve, pull over. I can't stop here, Janie. Pull over. He yanked the car to the edge of the road that barely had any room anyway. Behind them, a car honked. Janie opened her door, leaned out, and threw up into some unfortunate person's shrubbery. If I can't write it out of my mind, she thought, I guess my body is going to throw it out instead. She refused to go home. Hi, monster. Reeve drove to a diner miles away because she refused to go any place where people might recognize them. In the bathroom, she mopped herself up with paper towels. Her complexion was like kindergarten paste, white and gluey. Then she dragged Reeve back to the car Guess she couldn't sit in the diner. People might look at her. Reeve said. Janie, I thought you could just forget about it, but that obviously isn't working. So you have to tell them. You have to talk about it with them. No. Janie, you are losing it. Literally. Fine. No, it isn't fine. You've got to have your parents in this with you. No, because the minute I do that, I have to trade them in again for another set. No, you don't. Nobody would make you. That other family, those people in New Jersey, you think I could just call them up and say, I'm fine, so stop worrying and don't bother me either. They'll be in court. They'll call the FBI. They'll get lawyers, and Janie's voice turned so ragged, it no longer sounded human. I'll have to admit what happened at that shopping center. Janie, shouted Reeve. What happened was a pretty blonde woman took a pretty little girl for a ride in her car, and they had a great time. And the little girl never looked back, said Janie. I hate her. I hate that little girl. She began to cry. The tears made no sound and took no effort, but they burned fiercely, as if they were acid remains of her horrible deeds. Thank you for the hype train. Thanks much. She wouldn't let Reeve touch her. She wouldn't answer to anything he had said. They went home, finally. Janie crouched against her door and Reeve driving with a stiff precision. A mile from home, he said. I'm sick of this. Now tell them. No. Tell them, said Reeve, his voice hard and loud. Or I'm not seeing you again. I'm not ready to tell anybody. You're being stupid. Either wise up or I don't want to be bothered. Fine, she said. Don't be bothered. She jumped out of the Jeep, slamming the door. Her foot caught on the loose pavement brick and she stumbled, blinded by tears. This is my life we're talking about, she shouted at him. And you don't want to be bothered anymore. Reeve got out of the Jeep more slowly. Janie, he said, drop dead. She ran in the side door and slammed that too. Inside the house, the tears ripped through her with even more force. How could she have done that? Why be mad at Reeve, the only one on her team? The only one who knew? Her sobs made a racket, ripped out of her lungs even as she tried to choke them down. It brought her mother and her father running. What's the matter? They cried, enfolding her. I broke up with Reeve, she said, praying it was not true. I mean, okay, like, Reeve isn't shit, and Janie needs to tell somebody that her parents kidnapped her. I mean, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I get it. Like, I get it narratively because I think it's really funny because Reeve is essentially like an audience stand-in, right? Like, it's towards the end of the book. Janie refuses to tell anybody about this, about everything that she knows. And as our audience stand-in, Reeve is like, Janie, you need to get your shit together and just tell somebody. So, like, I respect it, you know? Can't be too mad at it. Because I'm like, narratively, it's perfect. I can't be mad at it at all. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we have 2 chapters left. Janie, I thought you would have told somebody by now. They don't have a school counselor. I don't know. I don't know what it was like. You could have told her better. Definitely. And also, like, I don't think any version of how he could have said it would have gone over well because Janie refuses to accept the fact that her parents are bad people. Right? Like, fundamentally, like, that's at the core of the issue. She cannot accept that her parents are bad people, and she also can't accept that she went along willingly with a kidnapper. And she doesn't want to face that because the minute that she tells somebody, she has to face both of those truths, and she just doesn't want to do that. So even if he asked nicely, or has said it to her nicely, which he's done in the past, she would have just ignored that shit like she's been doing already. Chapter 17. Second to last chapter. Let's see. The following week was bright with pain. Life flickered in Janie's face like flashbulbs going off. No matter where she looked, Reeve was there. But he neither looked back nor waved. In the mornings when she got up, he was already gone. She could not bear to take the school bus again. That public declaration, yes, I lost him. Her mother drove her to school every morning. Afternoons, Adair dropped her at home unless she took the bus that passed the town library. You know your life is pretty grim if reading about Stalin beats all the other options, thought Janie. She tried to make herself laugh, but nothing in life was amusing. 5 days after her scene in the driveway, Reeve drove home with a senior named Jessica. Janie knew Jessica by sight, a tall, thin, dark-haired girl with short hair and a brittle smile. She had thought nothing could be more painful than New Jersey. She was wrong. Reeve's arm around Jessica kept her awake as many hours as New Jersey ever had. If that isn't classic, said Sarah Charlotte. She was enjoying her role as comforter. It had made them best friends again, although she was not the best friend Janie wanted. She wanted Reeve, she thought. Everybody knows, said Sarah Charlotte, that Jessica sleeps around. What was his reason? She looked intently at Janie. Did you go all the way with Reeve or not? Janie shook her head. They had come close, and all that they had done, she had loved, would always cherish, and would never describe to Sarah Charlotte. Clearly, said Sarah Charlotte, whose knowledge of sexuality came entirely from talk shows. That's the only thing that mattered to Reeve in the end. What mattered to Reeve, thought Janie, is what matters to everyone. Being first in someone's life. I put New Jersey first. He took it for a long time, considering. I hear that, and I'm understanding that perspective, and again, I give them both grace because, they're both kids in high school, and also, she's actively going through a trauma right now. Yeah, you're not going to be first, and that's how it works in relationships sometimes, even friendships, frankly. Sometimes you want to talk about something, but your best friend is going through something, so you put a pin in it, right? You put a little pin in it, and then when your friend is done going through whatever they need to go through, then it's your turn. You swap. Who gets priority, right? Sometimes nobody has priority, and sometimes one gets it over the other. And it seems like right now, Janie just needed to be the priority, and Reeve couldn't handle it, which, again, I give them grace because they're kids. And also, he's acting like a little bitch. And also, he's acting like a little bitch. I wouldn't even want to be his friend if he's acting like that. I'm like, is this how you treat your friends? But again, he's a child, and when I was in high school, I wasn't articulate either, so that's why I'm I give them grace, because I'm sure they wouldn't be acting like that if they were adults, During study hall, Janie opened her silver spiral notebook. Losing Reeve had made one thing clear. If she also lost her parents, she would die. Never, never could she get through that. She had condensed the facts and theories of the kidnapping to 4 pages. She tore them out of her glitter notebook, folded them, and stuffed it all into an envelope under the clip. She missed having the carton there to look at. She liked the stickum and close the flap. There. She thought, I'm done thinking about it. She would pin the envelope in the milk carton to the inside of the polka dot dress, put all 3 back in the trunk in the attic. That would store the problem for another season. Later on in the class, feeling spooky, she put on the Springs address. She put the Springs address on the envelope. Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Avery Spring, 114 Highview Avenue. This bitch. That's crazy. It made her heart pound to write it. Did I know that address by heart once? She wondered. She slid the envelope under the clip in her notebook. This afternoon, her mother would be tutoring. Plenty of time for a solitary trip to the attic. She would study Hannah's photographs and then lock the trunk. She had to sit at lunch with Jason, Sarah Charlotte, Adair, Katrina, and Peter instead of with Reeve. She felt like the most conspicuous person in the cafeteria. She did not know where to focus her eyes. She wanted to look at Reeve, only Reeve, always Reeve. But Reeve was sitting with Jessica, laughing. We didn't laugh enough, thought Janie. I haven't had any laughter to spare since the milk carton. She wondered if she could learn to laugh again, if there would be a time living next door to Reeve, when she would smile in an ordinary way at the driver of that Jeep. Sarah Charlotte wanted to have a pity party for Janie. I'll only invite the girls, she promised. Let's see, Adair, Katrina, Jody, Linda, Hillary. Who else do you want? Should it be a sleepover? We'll sit around and talk about how rotten boys are, and Reeve in particular. Jody. Memory slugged her. Jody. One of my sisters is named Jody. I don't want a pity party, she said, starting to cry. Jason and Pete suddenly had to get extra desserts. They fled the table. Well, they won't be back, said Adair. Boys collapse when girls cry. That sounds like Shakespeare, said Sarah Charlotte. Embroidery on pillows, agreed Adair. The bell rang. Janie walked between Adair and Sarah Charlotte as they batted their way out of the cafeteria and back to English. Don't let me be in the doorway the same time as Reeve and Jessica, she thought. Please. One prayer answered, but only one. English ended. History poked along. Passing period following passing period. Janie went to her last class slowly, not because she was dawdling, but because she felt weak. I hadn't eaten in days, she thought. Pretty soon my mother won't just have me at adolescent trauma counseling. She'll have me at an anorexia clinic. The hall swayed and grew in the middle. I just have to say, again, we have got to kill Reeve. Not kill him, but we should definitely throw stones at him. Maybe just tomatoes, like really rotten tomatoes. This is your next door neighbor, a girl that you've been growing up with, your entire life. And she hasn't eaten in days. And he's like, I'm just gonna go fuck this other girl. I am going to literally push you downstairs. Thank you for the suggestion, Inu. It's a great suggestion. What's up? We're reading a book. They're talking about the book. That's what's up. But hi. When I say we, I'm reading a book. Everybody else is listening. And like she hasn't eaten in literal days. And he decides he didn't even check in with her. Like he could have checked in with her. I'm sick. I'm actually so sick. Like, did he even like her as a friend? This is the part that I can't even get over. I'm like, did he like her as a friend? Because, like, yeah, you can definitely do that. Yeah, you can sit here while you cry. That's totally fine. I mean, I can't really stop you, you know? Kind of like a master of your own destiny, you know? Like, he didn't even, like, he can't see the stress in her face. She hasn't eaten in days. Like, instead, he's trying to fuck and go play video games. I'm actually really sick. I mean, I don't see how you're being mean right now. So, you're fine. Jessica, Jessica, Jessica. I can't blame Jessica in this situation because she doesn't know anything that's going on. I can blame Reeve because he knows everything that's going on and it feels like he doesn't care about her. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. Thanks for the follow. I don't know, I'm kind of annoyed. Now I'm annoyed with him. I'm like fully annoyed with him. I don't want to hear about Reeve anymore, even though I'm sure we're going to hear about Reeve some more. I don't want to hear about him right now. The hall swayed and grew in the middle and clapped their sides against Janie's head. She touched the lockers to steady herself, but was knocked from the wall by a bunch of worthless boys. Druggies and all. I'm one of them too, thought Janie, tossing out my family like last week's paper. The halls were empty. She did not know that had happened. A moment ago, she had been among 100 kids. She fumbled with her blue English notebook. She needed to see the carton. Dimly, she remembered the carton was no longer there. It was between the mattress and the box springs. But her silver notebook was there. No, it wasn't. It was in her book bag. But the envelope was there. No, it wasn't. There was nothing under the clip. The clip was broken. She had used the clip so often, and that cheap little thing had snapped. The envelope was gone. I addressed it, she thought. To New Jersey. It was one of the sad mistakes with my real return address on it. But no stamp. It can't go anywhere without a stamp. Unless some good Samaritan stamped it for me. Unless the post office delivers it and charges the postage to the Springs. If it's mailed, it will be read. They'll know. In 2 days, the Springs will know who I am and where I am. How am I going to save my mother and father now? Her thoughts stabbed her desperately, knife after knife of fear. Past the offices, past school library, past language labs, Janie walked. Reeve had last period chemistry. She found the room and opened the door, walking in. Juniors and seniors looked up, startled. She could not see their faces. Reeve was somewhere among them, but her eyes would not focus. The teacher was writing on the blackboard as he lectured, his back partially to the class. Reeve, Janie said, plowing across the room like a tractor. The teacher turned, chalk in hand. Miss? He said. Reeve, I need Lizzie's phone number. said Janie, walking steadily toward Reeve, although there were desks and knees in her path. Reeve unfolded from his desk, took her shoulder, turned her around. "Be right back," he said to his teacher. "And just where do you think you're going?" said the teacher. But they were out of the room, and the teacher did not bother to follow them. "You're pushing me," said Janie. "I'm walking at regular speed," said Reeve. "You're trying to walk while standing still. Pick up your feet. Are you on drugs or something?" "I don't think so. I need Lizzie's phone number. Reeve, you won't believe what I've done, how stupid I've been." "I think I could believe that," he said. "I can't even address this right now." I can't even address this right now. We gotta keep moving. She talked. He drove her home. "I hate to play psychiatrist with you, but you didn't lose that letter by accident, Janie. Any more than you wrote it and put it in the envelope and addressed and sealed it by accident. You had to get out of this somehow, and that's the route you took." The house was empty. They went into the kitchen where Janie stared at the wall phone, and Reeve automatically checked her refrigerator for something to eat. It embarrassed him, and he shut the door without taking anything. He wrote down Lizzie's number for her. "Do you want me to call her first?" he said. She shook her head. No, he didn't mail it. She put it in her notebook, and she had a clip on it. And while she was walking around at her day at school, it fell out of the clip because the clip broke. And she already wrote her biological parents' address on it, but it has no stamp. So she did all of that. He didn't do it. So then immediately after she found out that, like, oh, it's like lost somewhere, she went and got Reeve from his class to go get Lizzie's phone number, which is his sister, who's becoming a lawyer, remember? So that's why he's here. Because, like, she needs Lizzie, who's becoming a lawyer. She wants lawyer information. Like, he didn't mail anything. Like, when he's talking to her, he's basically saying, like, you know, you subconsciously wanted to send the letter, but you knew you'd feel guilty if you mailed it yourself, so you let it get lost on purpose, essentially. Like, he didn't do anything. He hasn't been in her life for, like, the last, like, a week or something. She was starting to cry. Now she could see him clearly. Reeve, whom she adored. No wonder he had walked out of her chemistry. She must have looked completely demented, storming desks to get at him. She could imagine the class snickering, telling Jessica, preparing to humiliate Reeve when he got back. His fingers, full of car keys, rested stiffly on the counter. She would have to give him permission to go. Reeve would force himself to be neighborly to the end. She bit the insides of her cheeks. She did not want to blackmail him by crying. "Thank you for the ride home," she whispered. "You don't have to stay." The empty house seemed very noisy. The freezer hummed, the furnace buzzed, the clock ticked. Her own pulse throbbed in her forehead. She managed to look at Reeve. "Janie," he said. "I'm sorry." She nodded behind the blind windshield of her tears. "Me too. It's okay." She turned away from him. "Think about Lizzie," she ordered herself. "One disaster at a time. Think how you're going to beg Lizzie to call New Jersey before they get that letter and call the police." "No," said Reeve, swallowing audibly. "I mean, I'm sorry, and I want to make up. That kind of sorry." this last chapter. What the fuck? I'm actually so confused. This is the last chapter. That sad girl pussy. I don't know. I've never had the sad girl pussy. I guess I've been throwing sad girl. I'm not a girl. When I was a girl. Back when I identified as a girl, I was throwing a lot of sad girl pussy around. I can't even lie. These days, I am throwing around a lot of sad girl, sad them, thussy. Can't admit that. Can admit that. I've been told it's kind of good though, so I don't know. I can't. Can you blame him? I mean, like, ultimately, like, you know, he does. I do think he loves her. I do think he loves her. That's the first thing we knew about him, right? It's like he's in love with her. But like that was just so stupid. That whole thing was just so dumb. We're gonna be let on a cliffhanger. I wish we weren't, because I'm like, what the fuck is gonna happen in this last fucking chapter? Okay. Chapter 18. Alright. In their place, said Janie's father, I'd move heaven and earth to ruin the people responsible. Lizzie sat quietly, having laid out the circumstances so easily, so clearly that Janie marveled. It had taken Janie weeks of daymares to work her way to the end of this. Lizzie reached the end in 10 minutes. Lizzie's green wool dress had a narrow waist and a very full skirt, sitting primly on the edge of the coffee table, her skirt draped to the carpet. She looked like a tent in which tiny children would want to play house. The Springs might understand, said Janie. She was sorry. There was no burden left. She felt like dancing, laughing, throwing confetti. It's over, she thought, dizzy with relief. I wouldn't understand, said her father. I'd have the police and the FBI and SWAT and old college roommates all surrounding this house to get my daughter back. His hands knotted into fists, as if he too would gladly have a fight with somebody, anybody. Can't you imagine the SWAT team surrounding the house? Said Reeve, starting to laugh. Unfortunately, yes, said Janie's father. Janie and Reeve began giggling, acting out SWAT teams with submachine guns peering in their windows. You know what? Said Janie. What? I'm starving. It feels like we missed a chapter, but I promise you this is literally chapter 18. I'm so confused. I'm like, okay, so they called Lizzie, and then Lizzie was like, okay, let me tell your family. This is what's gonna happen. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I'm assuming, because we ended where, like, they were about to call Lizzie, so I guess Lizzie came home and is now explaining to Janie's father that, like, okay, because remember, like, I still don't buy the Cole story. I'm so sorry. I just don't buy it. I 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 need more information. I just don't buy it. But they're under the impression, right, that, like, Janie's father and mother did not know that Janie was kidnapped, right? That Hannah is the problem. So Lizzie is now explaining this to Janie's father, being like, okay, your daughter might have been, your actual daughter, Hannah, might have kidnapped Janie. That's what happened. So, and now the letter's gonna come out, so we need to get ahead of this situation, essentially. And they're over there talking about some SWAT team. Anyway, I'm starving. I haven't eaten in 2 weeks. I've been so nervous. I could eat my shoelaces. What's there to eat, Mom? Let's order a pizza, said Reeve. Especially when you talk like that, said Janie's father. You feel like my daughter. Food first. His control broke. Tears suddenly made gleaming rivers on his face, like gold and rocks. He put his arms around Janie. Hannah would have faded away under this much stress. I thought about it, said Janie, but I reconsidered. I'm tough. She gave her parents an impish grin. I was well brought up. Her father managed half a smile. What am I going to say to those parents? I don't know. I feel like the story wants me to believe this thorough line, but I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. So the cult's real. Okay. No, I just can't believe that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't believe that. I'm going to need to see what the Spring family has to say about this. I'm going to need their biological parents to come through and speak on this situation because I can't trust anything these people are saying. I'm like, everybody feels like an unreliable narrator. It's like, I can't trust Janie. Definitely not. Like, I can't trust Janie. I can't trust the mom and dad because they already lied to begin with. So I'm gonna need the biological family to please step into the room and speak on this issue because I just can't trust that. I don't know. I need them to explain to me what they saw that day. Because, like, Janie's memories, they're not trusting, and her parents have been lying to her. So I don't know. I can't believe the cult. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it until the book tells me that the cult is real. The book has not told me that the cult is real. Until I see, like, physical evidence that the book is like, and the cult was real, and Hannah was real, I'm suspicious. Her father managed half a smile. What am I going to say to those parents? Maybe they'll be nice about it, said Janie. Maybe they won't, said her mother. On her mother's lap lay the flattened milk carton. The stolen child, who was Jenny Spring, who was Janie, smiled back over the years. I don't need to see it again, thought Janie. It's over. I'm safe. Reeve said, pepperoni, mushroom, sausage. The telephone rang. Everyone but Lizzie jumped. Shrill rings penetrated their hearts like surgery. Nobody crossed the room to answer it. Probably my mother wondering where I am, said Reeve. But he looked white and afraid of the phone. Sarah Charlotte, said Jeanie. She's mad at me. Her mother's laugh quivered. It was not really a laugh. It was a splintered soul. My nightmares laugh like that, thought Jeanie. Or New Jersey, said her mother. The phone rang 11 times. A determined caller. Janie's mother had one hand on her mouth, the other on her throat, as if to contain her fears. Getting worked up, said Lizzie, is not going to help us design our approach. Lizzie, have you ever been worked up over anything in your life? Said Reeve. Lizzie ignored him. He was merely a pesky baby brother. She said, we have the weekend. They can't possibly get the letter before Monday. Janie's mother said, I can't believe this is my life. I mean, why would she talk to him? I mean, that's her baby brother. Also, thank you for the follow. That's her baby brother. She just thinks that he's being annoying. Lizzie waited 2 seconds to pay tribute to this sort of emotionalism, and then continued. But as long as the situation has arrived, Janie, we should deal with it. I'll call the Springs. Wait a minute, said Janie's father. I would take bets that the letter didn't get mailed. The more logical assumption is that it's in the trash at the high school. The janitor swept it up with the candy wrappers and discarded quizzes, which means no one in the world knows but us. We don't have to take any action. don't know. Like, did they not know? Now I feel bad. I'm like, did they not know? But I'm like, maybe the book is lying to me. I don't know. They're being so weird. The whole book. They're being so weird. But now I'm reading it, I'm like, well, now I don't know. Now I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't know. Like, did they know? Did they know? I mean, yeah, it's gonna make sense that you don't know what's happening. You miss like 2 hours of a stream, right? You know, you wouldn't walk halfway into a movie and be like, I wonder what's happening. Very confused about what's happening. It's like, yeah, you're gonna be a little confused. You walked in halfway. You're gonna miss some stuff, right? I don't know. I don't know. I feel confused, but let's keep reading. Janie's mother raised a haggard face. Oh, Frank, she said, if we don't take any action, then we have kidnapped her. We have stolen her. Her mother slumped, defeated and afraid. All I have suffered since October, Janie thought. Mom's getting slapped with tonight. But you are my parents, said Janie. That's why I didn't do anything. I know who I am. I'm Janie Johnson. Her mother whispered. Seemed so logical at the time. Oh, Frank. Frank, do you really think? Do you think Hannah really did say this was her baby? Our granddaughter? Or do you think we decided that ourselves because we needed her so much? She began sobbing uncontrollably, stretching her hand toward her husband. The thin fingers of her left hand glittered with her diamond engagement ring, her gold wedding band, the ruby 25th anniversary ring. He took the hand with the rings and held it between both of his. He sank to one knee, and his wife, still holding his hands, bent over it. They looked as if they were proposing to each other. I'm yours, said Janie desperately. Don't cry. She was excluded from their pain. She felt as if she had caused it, would always cause it. That while Frank and Miranda were a unit, she had no family now, neither here nor in New Jersey. Mommy? Said Janie, as if calling her mother back. Together dimly, her parents looked up. They were 10 years away. If you're saying she as in she, me, I don't use she, her pronouns. I'm not a woman. I use they, them pronouns. It's one of the first things you have to accept when you put in the chat. Janie has green aura? What does that mean? Why would Janie have green aura? What does that mean? Why is the aura green? They can remember it, thought Janie. Alright. I have found a few scraps of memory, but to them, it is bright. The day Hannah brought a little girl to fill their lives. Don't be mad, Janie mumbled. Please don't be mad. Her mother pulled Janie down onto the chair with her. There was no room. Janie sat, I usually hear aura in terms of like a good thing, not a bad thing. Janie sat on her mother's lap. She had to curl her spine to fit in the soft, safe spot above her mother's breasts. When she wept, she could not tell whose tears were on her cheek. If I could have any wish, whispered her mother, it would be that no parent on this earth ever suffered a missing child, and I made it happen to another mother. Well, if I had any wish, said her father, it would be to keep Janie. Oh my god, these people did not intentionally kidnap her. Or I don't know. Why did they wait 10 years to get the birth certificate. I'm so confused. Whatever. The birth certificate threw me all the way off. I can't even lie. I'm like, now I don't know. I guess they didn't do it intentionally, but they still kidnapped her. Intentionally or not, they still did it. You will, said Janie. I'm not going anywhere. The courts and the springs may have different ideas. You could run away again, suggested Reeve. After all, you know how it's done. Reeve, said Janie's father, you're getting tiresome. Sorry. Janie was faintly surprised that Reeve and Lizzie were still there. It seemed to her that she and her mother and father had gone where no one else could go. Some ghastly voyage of past and present, guilt and anger. Maybe we should telephone them right now, said her mother. She frowned uncertainly at the chair, as if unsure that any seat could be safe. What would you say? Asked Janie. Hi, this is your stolen daughter's mother, who thought she was her grandmother, who didn't mean for this to happen, and please don't get mad at the kidnapper because she was a lost soul herself and only wanted company while she ran away from her kidnappers. They'll think we're insane, said Janie's mother. The Springs are not going to believe that normal people could have gotten themselves into such a grotesque situation. They'll never let you stay with us, Janie. The discussion had acquired velocity. Janie felt as if she were hurtling breakless towards another cliff. Lizzie will handle it, said Janie loudly. I just got away from the edge, she thought. Don't shove me over again. Lizzie will tell them to let it go. Stop worrying and let us be. Stop worrying, repeated her mother. Do you think I have ever stopped worrying about Hannah? Do you think there's ever been a night in my life when I haven't prayed for her safety? When I haven't wondered if we did the wrong thing, letting her vanish forever? Janie. No mother ever lets go. You pray for Hannah? Said Janie, amazed. You never said you believe in God. I have no beliefs, said her mother, only hopes. They'll have to meet you, Janie, these Springs. We'll have to meet them. No, they aren't real right now. I don't want them to be real. I want them to go away. They've waited long enough, said Janie's mother. I know what it's like to lie awake year after year, never knowing what happened to your little girl. I know what it is to cry out on her birthday. If only, if only. Even Lizzie's eyes got wet. Lizzie could meet them first, said her mother. We have to protect Hannah. I wonder if they would promise. No, we can't ask that. Don't ask, Lizzie. Tell. Tell them either they're nice about it or I won't see them, said Janie. Lizzie was taking mental notes. Then you'll see them if they agree not to try and find Hannah or prosecute anybody. Janie found herself pushing her parents together to make a shield against the enemy. This is how Hannah felt, she thought. The world caved in, she had no hiding place. Maybe after Lizzie sees them, it'll be over, said Reeve. Lizzie's voice was calm and factual. It'll never be over. Never over, thought Janie. This isn't a term paper. I won't pass it in. This isn't high school. I won't graduate. This will never be over. Lizzie stood up, the tent of her skirt rearranging itself gracefully. She was lean and elegant and clever. I'll telephone the Springs. I will arrange Saturday or Sunday for a preliminary meeting. I will suggest to the Springs that the meeting with you, Janie, take place later in the month without your father and mother there. I suppose you'd be the best escort, said Janie. She was crushing her mother. She stood up. Her mother stood with her. Her father moved closer. They were like children in a camp race, legs tied together, stumbling to the finish. Of course, said Lizzie, who had never had trouble being modest. I want to go too, said Reeve. Nonsense, said Lizzie. What do you think this is? Movie and a popcorn? It's going to be very emotional. Her mother let go and walked shakily to the cherry table where the library books and Kleenex sat beside a bowl of yellow and blue dried flowers. Then I'm not going. I've had enough emotion. I just want this to end happily ever after. Not everything does, Janie, said her father. Hannah didn't. I don't see how this can. He was so weary it terrified her, so old. She was afraid for his life. It has to, cried Janie. Tell the Springs, Lizzie, tell them it has to end happily ever after. Her plea echoed into the living room. The deep sofa was just furniture, the scarlet and blue just colors. The room felt no difference. It would be as lovely after Lizzie saw the Springs as before. Reeve was watching Janie sadly. Her father was unfolding a handkerchief to blot his tears, and her mother had not, after all, crossed the room to get a tissue. Slowly, hypnotically, she was dialing the telephone. Mommy, said Janie. She could not catch her breath. Mommy, who are you calling? She tried to see the spinning numbers. Her mother dialed another digit. Mommy, are you calling for pizza? Her mother dialed beyond 7 digits. She was calling long distance. Out of state. New Jersey. A mother, said her own mother, would need to hear her baby's voice. Her mother's face was so soaked in tears, it might have been raining. I'm not Jenny, though, whispered Janie. A split personality, she thought. I am 2 people. I have to choose. A good daughter or a bad one. I have 2 sets of parents. How can I be good to both of them? The dialing ended. In the velvety silence of the room, Janie, Lizzie, Reeve, her mother, and her father listened to the telephone ring in New Jersey. Was it ringing in the kitchen? Were the twins that had sat in the high chairs there? Or a laughing father who had said a homemade blessing? Where a little girl once spilled milk? The phone rang a second time, a third time. Happily ever after, thought Janie. Please be nice people. With numb fingers, Janie took the phone from her mother. I should have something to eat, she thought. I'm so hungry. I'm dizzy. It rang once more. In New Jersey, somebody picked up the phone. Hello? Said a woman's voice. Janie clung to her mother. She said, Hi. It's your daughter. Me. Jenny. Brother, and that's how the book fucking ends. Brother, and that's how the book fucking ends. And then I flip over the fucking page, and they're like, turn the page for a sneak peek at the suspenseful companion to the face on the milk carton. They said, readers left on the edge of their seat at the conclusion of the face on the milk carton will race to get their hands on this gripping sequel. I was like, there's no way this is all gonna get wrapped up in like 5 chapters. I'm like, what the fuck? I had a feeling, I was like, oh my god, this book has a fucking sequel. Because I'm like, this shit doesn't make any sense. I'm like, the chapters are going by, and Janie still hasn't fucking called the number. My god. I don't know if I want a sneak peek. I don't know if I want a sneak peek, but I kind of want a sneak peek. I don't know, I kind of want a sneak peek. I can't even lie, I kind of want a sneak peek. Just a little peek. Oh my god. I started reading it. Wait, I started reading it. What? Wait, okay, wait. Let me start. I might as well read it. Like, literally. Is this just chapter 1? Okay, wait. I said I wasn't gonna read it, but then I turned the page and immediately I was like, oh, no, I have to read this fucking thing. I have to read this. I had to turn the page. I'm like, what the fuck could this possibly be? Oh my god. Okay. I'm just making sure there's nothing else. That is crazy. Okay, let's read chapter 1 of the next book. Because it's already here in this book. I can't help myself. I have to know. I've gotta know. The sequel is called, let me see. Oh my god. I love this actually. Hold up. I'm gonna explain why in a second. I'll explain why after I'm done reading it. What is a book called? I just had it and now I don't have it anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like lost my page entirely. What? Okay, let me look it up. It's called Whatever Happened to Janie. Published in 1993. She took 3 years to write the next one. She took 3 years to write the next one. Is she crazy? Is this bitch crazy? She had people waiting on that fucking cliffhanger for 3 years. I'd lose my mind. Yeah, I do type fast. Alright, I'm gonna read chapter 1. Oh man, I already love how this one starts. Okay, wait. I'm gonna read chapter 1 just because I have to. I can't not. I have to read the entire book and then I'll be able to put it down. Chapter 1. After their sisters start over. After their sister's kidnapping, Dad not only took Stefan and Jody to school every morning, but he held their hands. Not once in 180 days a year, kindergarten through 6th grade, were the remaining spring children allowed to take a school bus. Not once had Jody been allowed to walk in or out of an elementary school without her father there. The children would get out of the car. Dad would take Jody's hand in his right hand and Stefan's hand in his left hand. Then they would walk across the parking lot into the building and down to Jody's classroom, where he would transfer Jody's hand to the teachers. His eyes would scan the halls, as if kidnappers were lurking beside the winning poster from the science contest. When Jody was safely in her teacher's care, Dad would continue on with Stefan. For years, Jody thought this pattern was normal, but when Stefan was in the 4th grade, he said if anybody held his hand again, he would bite it. He said if anybody had planned to kidnap another spring child, they'd have given up by now. Stefan said he would carry a knife. He would carry a submachine gun. He would carry a nuclear bomb. And he would blow away would-be kidnappers. But never again would he let anyone hold his hand. From his 4th grade heart had come the hidden rage they all felt and never dared to say out loud. I hate Jenny, Stefan had screamed. I hate my sister for ruining our lives. The least Jenny could have done was leave her body there for us to find. Then we could have buried her and be done with it. I hate that we have to worry every single day. I hate her. Stefan was 17 now. Jody could remember that meal as if it were yesterday. Mom and Dad had sat as tight and as silent as wind-up dolls. More vividly than anything else, Jody remembers that nobody yelled at Stefan for saying such terrible things. Years of worry had torn the family's guts apart like a tornado peeling the house walls away. Worry had separated them from each other, so they were not 6 people, knit close in tight, warm threads of family, but travelers accidentally in the same motel. There had been a long, long silence after Stefan's outburst. Even the twins, who had been thick and annoying all of their paired lives, knew better than to speak. At last, Dad had extended his hands from his sides, straight out, like a Roman slave being crucified. The whole family held hands every evening to say grace before supper. That was what Dad had intended. And yet the stiffness of his arms, the awful lines around his mouth, did not look like grace. Jody had been scared because she was between Dad and Stefan, and she would have to take Stefan's hand, and she was pretty sure Stefan really would bite her. But he didn't. He cried instead. Stefan had cried easily when he was little, and the humiliation of that had left its mark. Nothing would have made Stefan Spring cry now that he was 17. Where a 10-year-old had exhibited tears, this young man used fists. So they had held hands, and Dad had prayed. Not grace. He didn't mention food. He didn't mention shelter. He said, "Dear Lord, tonight we are going to bury Jenny. We love her, but she's gone, and now we're going to say goodbye. Thank you for the time we had with Jenny. The rest of us have to go on living. Thank you for making Stefan tell us." Jody was only 9, only a 3rd grader. Jody had needed to take her hands back from Stefan and Daddy so she could wipe away her tears. And Jody never admitted to anybody that they were not tears of grief for her missing sister, but tears of relief that they were going to put Jenny on the shelf and be done with her. "Give Jenny a guardian angel," said Dad softly to the Lord. Usually during grace, Jody felt that Dad was talking to his children, ordering them to behave and be thankful. Not this prayer. Dad was talking to the Lord. Jody thought if she looked up, she would see God, and that was even scarier than having to hold Stefan's hand, so she didn't look up. "Take care of Jenny, Lord, wherever she is. Help us not mention Jenny again. Help us be a family of 6, and forget that we were ever a family of 7. Dad squeezed Jody's hand. Jody squeezed Stefan's. The squeeze went around the circle, and the Lord must have been there because the lump in Jody's throat dissolved, and the twins began to talk about sports. Even when they were babies, they talked about sports. They had been playing with basketballs and footballs and tennis balls from birth, and Stefan showed his B+ geography paper. He had gotten 42 of the 50 state capitals right. The family sealed up, like a perfect package. Things fit again. Everything from the number of chairs around the table to the toppling stacks of presents under the Christmas tree. The Spring family had 6 people in it now. The 7th was gone. Mom and Dad didn't even telephone Mr. Mollison again. Mr. Mollison was the FBI agent who had been in charge of the case. For a while, he had been as much a part of the family as Uncle Paul and Aunt Luann. The next year, nobody talked about Jenny on her birthday. Nobody sobbed on the anniversary of the day Jenny went missing. Mr. and Mrs. Spring were still more careful than any other parents in the state of New Jersey, but the children were more careful too. It was not because Jody and her brothers were worried that they might be kidnapped too. They were worried that their parents would be worried. The Spring children were always lined up at telephones to tell mom or dad to know where they were. They were never late. They were children who knew too well of the horrors of the world. The thing Jody could not get over now, that her sister Jenny turned out to be alive and coming home, was that there had never been a horror. They had imagined it, all of it. Jenny had not died. She had not been tortured. She had not been cold or lost or drowned or raped or even frightened. Jenny had been just fine all along. It was incredible when Jody thought of the lancing fear the rest of them had endured for 11.5 years. In most ways, of course, worry and fear vanished. When she was small, it vanished because Jody believed in Daddy's deal with the god. If Daddy and the Lord both said stop worrying, well, who was Jody to stop worrying? To worry. But as Jody moved into her teens, the reality of her sister's kidnapping often surfaced. When she brought a library book home, and the heroine was a redhead named Jenny, when Stefan had his first date, and her name was Jenny, when the late movie on a television was about a kidnapping, when Jody went in the post office and saw those black and white photos, have you seen this child? She'd feel it again. The panic, like burning acid, making it impossible to think of anything else. The rage, the terrible, terrible anger that their lives had been so brutally interfered with. Brian and Brendan were babies when it happened, still sitting in the double stroller and getting everything sticky. Jody's relationship with her twin brothers began by steering them around, lest they smear her with melting lollipop or contaminate her with Oreo cookie crumbs. Somehow, it had continued that way. Keeping clear was Jody's major activity with her little brothers. But Jody had been in kindergarten, and Stefan in first grade, old enough to have memories, old enough to understand what had happened. Well, no, not quite. Nobody had ever known what happened that day at the shopping mall. Nobody had ever known where Jenny was or who took her or for what purpose. But all too well, Jody understood what happened to her family because of it. It was so confusing and astonishing to find that all along, Jenny had been happy and healthy and warm and everything else that was good. The Springs had never needed to worry. Mom and Dad were weak with relief and joy. Jody mentally laid her history of nightmares out on the bed, like laundry to be put away, and studied them, understanding less than ever. Stefan, of course, was angry. He didn't even have a fuse, he just continually exploded. Stefan yelled that Jenny ought to have suffered, since the rest of them had. Don't talk like that when she comes, warned her father. Dad was wildly excited. He and Mom kept bursting into shouts of laughter and hugging each other and hyperventilating. That was Jody's new word, hyperventilate. Jody did not want her family getting overly emotional or too noisy. She felt it was time to drop the hand-holding at dinner and the saying of grace. Jenny would think that they're weird. Don't hyperventilate, Jody begged constantly, but her family was the hyperventilating kind. When Mom thought nobody was watching, she would rearrange the dining table, seeing where the seventh chair fit best, the chair her missing daughter would sit in when she came home. Then Mom would do a little tap dance around the chair, fingertips on the wood. She looked so comic, a 43-year-old getting heavy, going gray, wearing sneakers that squeaked on the linoleum instead of tapping. We'll all have to work hard, Mom warned every night. Jenny's grown up with another family. Different values, I suppose. This won't be easy. Mom burst into laughter, not believing a word of it. This was her baby girl. It would be easy and joyful. We may have a hard time adjusting, she added. This was for Stefan's benefit. Stefan was not a great adjuster. Jody planned to be the buffer between Jenny and Stefan. Jody knew that she would not have problems. This was the sister with the matching J name. They would be like twins. Brendan and Briar never noticed much of anything except each other in their own lives. Jody thought it was such a neat way to live, wrapped up and enclosed with this secret best friend who went with you everywhere, and that was part of you. That was how she would be with Jenny. At night, when they were each in their own beds with only a thin little table and a narrow white telephone to separate them, they would tell each other sister things. Jenny would tell Jody the details about the kidnapping that she never told anybody, and Jody would share secrets of her life, aches and hurts and loves and delights she had never managed to confess to Nicole or Caitlin. Jody was cleaning her bedroom as if it had never been cleaned before. Nicole and Caitlin said it was impossible to share a room this small. 2 beds had been squeezed in, 1 tall bureau, 1 medium desk. Another person could never fit in with her share of sweaters, earrings, cassettes, and shoes. Jody was seized with a frenzy of energy, folding and refolding her clothes until it only took up half the space it used to, discarding left and right, putting paper grocery bags stuffed with little used items in the attic. She had spent her allowance on a scented drawer line paper from Laura Ashley. It was a lovely, delicate, English-looking pattern. Its soft perfume filled the room like a stranger. Jenny would be pleased. Mom loved matching names. Jody and Jenny went together. Of course, the twins. Brian and Brendan went together. Stefan was the oldest. And Mom and Dad had always meant to have a 6th child, who would be named Stacy, whether it was a boy or a girl. So there'd have been Jody and Jenny, Stefan and Stacy, Brian and Brendan. Of course, after Jenny went missing, nobody could consider another baby. How could any of them ever left the room again? Nobody could have focused their eyes anywhere else again. They'd all have heart attacks and died from fear that somebody would take that baby too. Jenny was only 20 months younger than Jody. As toddlers, they had fought, Jody pairing up with Stefan. Over the years, Jody had thought of this a lot. If she, Jody, had been holding Jenny's hand at the shopping mall the way she was supposed to, nobody could have kidnapped Jenny. When she got to know this new sister, should she say that she's sorry? Admit that it was her fault? If the new sister said, "Don't worry, everything's fine now. I'm home and happy," Jody would be safe telling her about the guilt. But if the new sister said, "I hate you for it, and I've always hated you for it," what then? Jody put down the hand mirror that said Jenny on a piece of lace that she had chosen to decorate the top of the bureau. Jody's mother loved things with names on them. The 4 kids had mugs, sweaters, bracelets, book bags, writing paper, everything, with their names printed or embroidered or engraved. Mom wanted to have a house full of Jenny items for the homecoming. It was a popular name. They had no trouble finding at the mall tons of stuff that said Jenny. They bought so much they were embarrassed. "We'll have to bring it out 1 piece at a time," said Jody, giggling. "She'll know that we love her," said Jody's mother. But behind the layers of hyperventilating and laughter lay the years of worry. Mom was trembling. She had been trembling for days. She was actually losing weight from shivering. You could see her hands shake. Nobody had commented on it because everybody else had shivers too. Everybody was worried about everything. what to serve for dinner on the first night, what to say to the neighbors, how to take Jenny to school, how to hug. Would she be afraid? Would she be funny? Would she be shy? What would she be like? This sister who had grown up somewhere else. Jody opened her bureau journals and looked at the empty halves. She was so proud of herself, opening up her life, just like a drawer, to take Jenny in. I have a sister again, thought Jody Spring. She isn't buried. She isn't gone. She wasn't hurt. Her guardian angel did take care of her. And now, he's bringing her back to us. Tomorrow. And that was chapter 1. My God. My God. My God, my God, my God. I am so glad I read that first book. I'm so glad I read that first book. I really enjoyed that first one. The second book, I had to read that first chapter. I loved the POV switch. The POV switch was 10 out of 10. Immediately I was like, it's not Jenny. It's not her. Crazy. Love that. The thing, okay, I do like the book. And I think it's like bittersweet, right? That like, I do like the book. I think it's bittersweet that Janie, calling her Jenny now, but like Janie, it's all the same. But like her parents technically didn't kidnap her. I think it's bittersweet that way. I think if she had made the parents like evil, it would have like shut down the story entirely, wherever she wants to kind of take the story. Whenever she wants to like take the story, which I have no idea. I mean, this book has a sequel, so I don't know really where she's taken it. I have no idea what happens in the rest of it, but I'm looking here and I just googled and I see like 3 books. I'm looking here and I see like 3 books. I'm looking and I'm seeing like 3 books. No, they did. I mean, technically they didn't, but they did. They didn't, but they did. So that must be why she's going back to them and like living with her biological family. Because like, yeah, you can't just like keep the kid. Like, you can't just be like, sorry, our bad. We didn't know. It's like, yeah, you're gonna have to give the kid back. Like, you're gonna have to give the kid back. That's not your fucking kid. But I like the perspective, and honestly, I understand Janie, and I'm not gonna blame Janie for what happened to her. I will say, I sympathize way more, and this is just my own perspective. I sympathize way more with the biological family. I'm sorry, like, I don't know what that makes me, but I just sympathize, like, way more with the biological family than I do with fucking Janie's family. They're so fucking wealthy. Even if they didn't get Janie, right? Like, they lost their daughter or whatever. They definitely could have adopted a child. They could have adopted a child to make up for it. They're extremely wealthy. Clearly, they're more wealthy than this family. Clearly, they're more wealthy than this family. Because they don't have, I mean, to be fair, they didn't grow up with, I don't know. There's like a lot of those kids in that house, and the house doesn't feel, the way it's described doesn't necessarily feel like it's like the biggest house in the world. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, you can't go back. It's illegal. You can't go back. Inu, are you here? I want to know what you thought of the end of the book. If you're around, Inu. Or you might have passed out. You can't just be like, I choose to stay with the people that kidnapped me. You can't make that decision. That's not how that works. Oh, sorry, I wanted to stay with them. It's like, you can't just do that. You can't just be like, oh, if that were the case, then anybody can just stay with anybody. Why not? Because you have your biological family. of your biological family. In that case, literally anybody can just stay with anybody. Like a 14-year-old can just run out of the house and be like, I'm now living with someone else now. There's nothing you kind of do about that. I'm gonna go live with my 18-year-old boyfriend. It's like, yeah, there are laws put in place to protect people from getting taken advantage of, i.e., children getting taken advantage of, because children can't consent to most things because they're kind of dumb. And they're not dumb because I think they're dumb. They're dumb because their brains aren't fully developed and they don't know anything about the world. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Thank you. Like, yeah, that's why if a kid wants to be like emancipated, you have to go through an entire process in order to do that. It's like an entire legal process. You can't just be like, I don't want to live with my family anymore. It's like a full legal process in which you get emancipated from your family. Thank you. Thank you. Eno, I'm so curious about what you had to say about the book, but you might be asleep. You might have fallen asleep. It's probably like 3 a.m. I don't remember what the time zone Eno's in. I'm also gonna pause. Am I gonna pause that ad break? Yeah, I'm gonna pause that ad break. Oh. I might let the ad break run. I'll end stream after the ad break is over, after I see the notification. But I really liked that book. It was great. Good thriller. Had me on the edge of my seat. I don't know when and if I'm gonna read. Well, I do want to read the second book, but I don't know when I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give myself a little break. I'm gonna give myself a little break. And I'm not gonna read for like a week. As I need a break from all of that. That was a lot. I don't know. I sympathize like way more with the biological family because they had their lives literally ruined. Like, actually fucking ruined by their child being kidnapped from them. Like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, it sucks for, this other family that, like, oh, your daughter is not your daughter. That sucks. But, like, these people, they not only, these parents not only, like, ruined their own lives, but they ruined their other kids' lives, the rest of the kids' lives, because now all the kids are, like, paranoid that they were gonna get kidnapped. Like, I'm sorry, Janie. I can't. I was sympathizing with you the whole way up until I read that first chapter. I don't know. I can't really sympathize with Janie anymore. I'm sorry. I don't have it in me. It's crazy how one chapter just completely switched me entirely, because now I'm like, I can't feel too bad for Janie. Like, she lived a very, very easy life by comparison. Very, very easy life by comparison. Like, yes, she was tortured the entire time by, thinking that her parents were evil people. I guess her mother was just an evil person. But still, it's like, she got to live this, like, cushy life, worry-free for 11 years. I mean, she had a few bad months. She had, like, 2 bad months compared to 11 years. Those kids genuinely thought that, like, their sister had been, like, murdered this entire time. They had the FBI working on this shit. Like, well, you should listen to the other previous streams I did. Like, I can't recap the entire book to you, and I'm not gonna sit here and recap the entire book to you right now. But it was a good read. It was a very good read. I'd highly recommend the read. I think all the movies are shit, though. They have, like, a bunch of, like, movies made on this book because apparently it sold really well. But, because, like, I found this book because I saw a YouTube short where somebody was talking about a shitty Lifetime movie or like one of those like Hallmark movies or something like that. And it's on my YouTube channel, on the ASMR YouTube channel. I have all the VODs there because for this book, it's like organized in a playlist. It's organized in a playlist because Twitch only keeps the VODs for like 7 days or something. Yeah, all the VODs go on my YouTube for all my streams. Well, at least the ASMR streams. It's on the ASMR channel. Main streams are on the main channel. Yeah. I watched, the TikTok on this shitty Lifetime original movie, and then I was like, this movie looks like dog shit, but I really like the premise. And then the comments were like, but the book is really good, so that's how I found out about the book. Because I was like, I'm definitely not watching this movie, but the book sounds like it might be good, and it was. I'd rate that book like a 3.5, 3.5, leaning towards a 4. Leaning towards a 4. I think I would have rated the book higher if I just had not read that first chapter. If I just had not read that first chapter, I think I would have rated it like a 4 out of 5. But like because I read that first chapter of the next book, I'm like retroactively a little more mad with Janie. Like I can't help it. I'm like more mad with her because I'm like this whole family was tortured for like 11 years and Janie's over here boo-hooing, and I understand, I get it, but like she's over here boo-hooing for 2 months over whether or not she's gonna find her biological family. I and now she has to go live with them anyway. She has to go live with them anyway, literally. And I just don't think like the birth certificate made a lick of sense. Like the birth certificate part, I'm still hung up on that because I'm like, okay, but like, if the parents didn't realize that she was kidnapped, like, why wouldn't they just go get her a fucking birth certificate? I'm still so fucking confused about this part. Like, even after they were like, oh, like, we had a daughter, her name was Hannah, da da da. Like, I'm so confused because the truth is out at that point. You might as well go get the kid a fucking birth certificate. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. It's just so stupid. That's the only reason why I doubted them in the first place, because I'm like, who doesn't go get their kid a birth certificate? Like, these people are evil. These people are evil. And then, like, obviously, the story wanted me to, like, believe that, like, the parents were evil. That's the whole point of a thriller, right? It's to, like, keep you guessing. But, like, why were they, like, yelling at her and stuff? Like, at the parts of it now, I'm just, like, I'm sitting with it and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell was going on there? But I do like it because I think it's a good foundation. Even if I don't end up reading the books on stream, I probably will end up reading them offline. Because I have this feeling that, like, it's gonna keep escalating. Like, every book is just gonna keep escalating. Like, we started with kidnapping. I think, like, murder is somewhere in there. Like, I'm getting this feeling that, like, every book is gonna escalate. Because I'm like, well, what's gonna happen in this fucking house now? Now that she's like living with his family, like what the hell's gonna happen here? There's like 2 more books after this. After the second one, there's like 2 more books. I'm like, what the hell could happen? So I'm probably gonna end up reading them offline, even if I don't end up reading them on stream. I do want to read them on stream though, so we'll see. This is a good read. How long have I been streaming for? 3 hours, I imagine. Yeah, it's a good time. Good time. I made good time. Yeah, I do need a break though. Book reading's nice, but I've been doing like back to back, like 2 months of like book reading because we read Alice in Wonderland last month, and then we started reading Through the Looking Glass, which is the sequel, Alice in Wonderland. And then I paused it so that we can read this book, and I didn't know this book had sequels. So I don't know when we're gonna get back to Alice in Wonderland. Probably never, I don't know. Well, yeah, I only stream ASMR once a week. So Yeah, like 2 months. I only stream it once a week. It's not like I'm gonna sit here for like 6 hours and read. I'm gonna stop and go to bed. I'm gonna stop and go to bed. I'm gonna take a nap, go eat a sandwich or something. But yes, I had fun. VOD will be up on YouTube. It has been a real slice. Next week's stream will probably be like a just chatting, vibing ASMR situation because I need a bit of a break from reading. I'm a little tired of that right now. Even though the book was really good, still like 3.5 is a pretty good score out of 5. And then yeah, ASMR is only ever going to be on this channel, but if you want to hear me or see from me in a non-ASMR way, space, whatever, I stream on my main channel more because it's my main channel. I just like doing ASMR occasionally. So sometimes I go like months without doing ASMR, so you won't see any content here because I'm over on my main channel. So this weekend I'm going to be on my main channel. I don't know, doing something. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do this week. It's either Deltarune, more Deltarune, or art stream because art fight is happening right now. And that's kind of the only thing I care about. Like, I don't really care about anything besides drawing. So, besides drawing every single day. So, I might do art fight stuff. I guess I could do like an ASMR art stream, but I like yapping and listening to music while I draw. So, feels better for the main channel. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll be super eepy sleepy. And next week I'll do that instead. Who knows? But yes, if you want to see me, go over to the main channel. Otherwise, if you just want ASMR, you should just follow this channel and then only show up when I do ASMR here, which might be next week, probably will be next week. But thank you so much to everybody that tuned in to stream today. I'm gonna close now. If no one's told you, you are in fact loved, you're valued, and you are very much appreciated, and you deserve to hear that every single day of your life. And if no one has told you, I'm happy to be one person this lifetime that tells you that you're loved, you're valued, and you are so fucking appreciated. If you're wondering who loves you in this lifetime, I do. I love you as much as one stranger, underlined, bolded, italicized, stranger can love another stranger because we are strangers to each other. But I want the best for most strangers that I meet. So I mean that when I say that I love you as much as a stranger could love another stranger. Yes, I'll be back next week, but main channel stuff, Friday, Saturday. It'll be fun. Yes. I hope everybody has a good night, and as always, until next time, I'm not reading out because I'm tired. I'm tired, and I want to go draw. Sleepy, sleepy. Night. And good night. Sleep tight. Let the bed bugs eat you if you want to do that.